like your pictures, nigga. Oh, be honest,
Cheese balls. Cheese balls.
Where the f*** are my cheese balls? So my son, I know you my f***ing cheese balls again.
No, I didn't.
Have you ever thought about how it would feel to be one giant sock in the dryer?
No, sorry, I don't think I have.
One sock being left in the dryer would be a bad thing, you know? Forcing its pair to roam lonely without its match. But one giant sock's only match is the foot that will embrace its cozy warmth, fresh out of the dryer, toasty, and never alone.
Shroomy never truly dies, for on the day of my reckoning, I will be reborn as a part of the Hive Mind Collective on Shroom Prime, and all of the weaknesses of your planet will be quickly analyzed, and then the expansion will commence.
Folding and scrunching, scrunching and folding, folding and scrunching, scrunching and folding, folding and scrunching.
I'm Rupert Luther Mullins, Senior Executive of the Turtle Club. Here to defend and protect all in need.
Express delivery when your delivery is expressed.
I'm standing right here, you itchy. Why the hell you still knocking?
Kid Rock, please help me.
That's free.
A natural selection, 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 a natural selection.
Shroomy Rum Dummy.
What is up, Super Fam and Bro Varen alike? I am Sensei Finito, aka Vane Sensei, and welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture. As you can see, I'm standing up today because it's about to be serious, and I'm a little sleepy, and I don't want to fall asleep. So I'm up here. I'm up here. Yo, I hope everybody is doing good today. What's today? It's Wednesday. It's Wheelie Wednesday. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Wheelie Wednesday, because I know that I am. This section of the reading was magnificent. You guys told me that it was going to be magnificent, and I should have believed you. It is so magnificent. The reading is impeccable this week, if I do say so myself. I was not prepared. I really wasn't prepared, yo. I was not prepared. We're going to talk about it, chat. You already know how we do things around here. We get a little chat talk going, and then we'll get into my overall thoughts about this section of the reading, and then we'll do our chapter by chapter review. So I'm excited to get into all these good vibes, and I hope y'all are as well. Just to get a little chat talk going, I hope all you guys saw that crazy intro that I had right there. Yo, that is the new show that I've been working on. A couple of episodes are out right now on the Unnatural Selection YouTube channel. I be getting my hands just in a little bit of everything. I've been wanting to make my own type of show for a long time, and so I did. All the stuff that you saw, I made the stuff. I put it all together. I made the song that was playing, and I was voicing all the characters and all that type of stuff. So it's just a little something that I'm going to do here, like just on the side. It's really one of I say that would be like a hobby more than any of the other stuff that I do. It's like that. I really enjoy doing that just making stupid skits like that and doing stupid things and making voices and having fun. So that's available for all you guys to check out if you want to. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. You guys already know. If you're watching this on the replay, you should be already seeing that this video, it'll say like Marvel Bros, and it'll also say from watcher to reader. Make sure you guys click that if you're on the replay, because that will be the new channel that we have for the foreseeable future for all of our from watcher to reader stuff that we are going to be doing for all the books and all the book club and everything. Book club is now going to be on our from watcher to reader channel starting next year. We're finishing out the year on Marvel Bros with the Shadow Rising, and then we're going to be starting next year, and it's going to be a good old time to go. I think I'm still contemplating whether we're going to go into book 5 and then start Mistborn, or if we're going to go from book 4 to Mistborn trilogy and then do 5 of the Wheel of Time's books like back to back, and then do another another book, and then do the last 5 of the Wheel of Time books back to back. That's kind of the vibe that I want to do, but I'm not entirely sure. Let me know how you guys feel about that in the comment section down below. I feel like I usually say all this stuff a lot later on in the episode, and maybe a lot of the people that rewatch aren't able to, they don't get to that part because I'm usually saying it at the end. So I put it at the beginning today. So y'all let me know how you feeling about all that good stuff. Okay, let me see. I want to make sure everything is going smooth. Yo, what's up with the LBF? I see you in the chat, bro. Said hype. How you doing? Ashim said, hey y'all, glad I was able to catch this live. It's almost 2:30 at night where I am, so I'm gonna. So some sacrifices are being made, but I wouldn't miss this. Yo, I'm happy to have you here. We are definitely happy to have you here with us, Ashim. I hope you're having a good day today. Let me know how you feeling about this section. What was your guys' favorite chapter in this portion of the reading? We were doing chapters 25 through 30 of The Shadow Rising. I don't think I've said that yet, so I'm sorry that's the first time that I said it, but hey, now you know. That's what we're on today. We're talking about Wheel of Time, The Shadow Rising. This is book 4. We're on season 4 of From Watcher to Reader, episode 5, I think. Yo, I think this is episode 5. So we're moving right along here, yo. I already said it. I love this portion, yo. Let me get a 1 in the chat if you guys like this section of the reading. Let me get a 2 in the chat if you did not. Let me know how we feeling out here in these streets. Okay. And let me click that. Go ahead and send this on over. Man, my new system that I've been doing when I like read and I take my notes and everything, it's really been working out for me. That's been working out really nicely. I'm hoping it continues to work out. Let's see. Let's just create this real quick, and then we're just going to paste all of my notes in there so I can have them on my computer, and I do not need to look at my phone. Because the Notes app, I just love that Notes app for taking quick notes. So I just be in the Notes app on my iPhone, just taking notes when I'm, reading and whatnot. And then I just send them to my computer and whatnot, and then boom, we got all of the notes there, and then we can just kind of follow along off of that. That was another thing I was interested in knowing is how you guys felt about I was very interested in knowing how you guys felt about like how we do book club. Is it at least live? I'm hoping everything is working out good for you guys. I tried to do it in like kind of the chapter order and things like that, but I think I like when we jump around to. I think it works pretty well so far. So let me know if you guys have any ideas on how to make this show better, because I'm always listening. Of course, if you haven't already, make sure you drop a like and a share on the stream because it helps out tremendously around these parts. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here with me today. We're about to get into our overall thoughts here in just a second, but let me know how your guys' day has been. How has the week been for you so far? I hope everyone is doing good, because man, one thing I will say about this section of the reading is that the show did a pretty good job of this section. Like the show did a pretty good job when tackling this section. I think I'm probably going to continue to say it, but week after week, man, I feel like they are just getting better and better with I'm sorry, what am I saying? No. Okay. Yes, what I was saying is true, which is like the book is getting better and better week after week, but also week after week, I really feel like I understand the direction of why the show went the way that it did. Like I understand why they did the things that they did. It makes a lot of sense because they were covering so many topics. They were covering so much, and there's so much in these books. Like Like, Robert Jordan was not playing around. It is stuffed with world building on every level, from the high nobility to the lowest of the, quote unquote peasants and everybody. Like, we're getting a full blown story of what is happening in this world on every level that we could possibly get a story from. And it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy when you really just, bro, like when you really just look at it. I'm always just, I just get more and more amazed at what's happening in this book, man. Like, I am I'm all for it. I am all for it, for real. It's crazy. There are some good reasons to take a break after book 5, although there are also some good reasons, though less good, to take break after book 4. All spoilers though, so just trust us on it. Oh, okay. So you're saying go to book 5 and then, all right, sounds good. That's fine. We can do that. We can go to book 5. We can go to book 5 and then take a break after that. That sounds good. 5, 4, and then drop another 5 at the end or something like that. I don't know how to piece it up, but that sounds good. Because this book is so this book is so good. I feel like we're at the point, or at least we're almost at the point in the book, to where whatever happens is going to be completely different from what happened in the show, right? Because where the show went with everything, I don't know if we're going that way right now within the book. Like, maybe we are. Maybe we are. I mean, we only have what, 28 chapters left. I think we were just talking about that. We only have 28 chapters left in this book. So we see what's all happened in these 30 chapters, and we essentially have that much left. So it's about to go up like Chuck, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it for sure. All right. Let's put this here. Boom. Uh oh, yeah. Okay, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Chapter 25 and 26 are my favorites, not just of this section, not just of the book, but they are among my favorite of the entire series. I couldn't possibly choose between 25 and 26, though. Wow. Okay, I feel that those are some powerful chapters. So yeah, I'm with you 100% with that one, because man, those chapters hit hard. I feel like this section was wild, brother. No, don't close that. I would have been so upset if I would have clicked that button. I would have been upset. I hope I'm not giving y'all anxiety by standing up. You know what I mean? I feel you. If I am, I understand. And I apologize. All right, we're just getting a couple. Okay, no, I just got everything ready. Oh, I just got to start it back up at the top of the chapter. That's one thing I hate about some of these books, man. Or at least on, like, reading a book like through like a PDF or EPUB or whatever. Like, when you read it in that format, you gotta like go all the way. You gotta scroll to the chapter. I guess I could have put a bookmark or something, or I could have remembered the page. Actually, I could have just tapped it in. But still, wait, what was that? What chapter? That's chapter 26. Okay, this is the chapter that we need. Chapter 25. Yo, I highlight so much stuff. I've had to put a new color into the rotation, because before it was yellow, blue, green, and red. So yellow is for highlights, like that's just highlighting something that's happening. Blue is for questions and names that pop up. Green is specifically for lore things, and then red is for all of the action that happens, right? So but I've had to also add orange into it, because I feel like there's just so much stuff that's being said that I needed another color to highlight certain things, but things that are like different from other things. I don't know exactly what that's going to equate to just yet, but we'll figure it out together. All right, let's get into my overall thoughts of this chapter, chat. Before I do, make sure you drop a like and a share on the stream because it helps out tremendously around here. You know the YouTube guys don't be playing with the algorithm. They just don't. They don't play around with it. That's just how they be. I can't stand them for it, but it is what it is, you know? So please help me out with that if you can. You know, let's get it. All right, my overall thoughts was, of course, this is incredible. Okay, let's just start it off with that. This is incredible. I was excited from the moment I began reading. I was like, "Oh, we're doing this. It's good. It's about to go down." And this entire segment was amazing. Learning the history of the Aiel and everything that means, and how all of those just different parts were connecting. I love that, man. I think I say that about his reading, about Robert Jordan's reading the most, is how much I love that he can just put so much history into the story and not make it feel like I'm in history class, you know? Like, I don't feel like I'm getting a lore dump all the time, even though we probably are. I'm different, obviously, because I love lore. I'm a lore junkie. But like, I think it just changes, man. It's just so cool. It's so cool. I love it so much. I love it so much. I think he does such a good job of blending all these different like feelings together and then being able to throw you into a POV of another character that we have not been with at all for the duration of this story, but being able to see through it from the eyes of the main character of the story at the same time makes us now be, I don't know if it's personalized, but it just makes everything feel so much more real. It makes it feel a lot more tangible. It doesn't feel like we're just having a vision or some one-off thing is happening. We are actually like diving into the core of these situations. And one of the things that I said in my instant reactions, make sure you guys are ready for those. Those are going to be dropping on the From Watcher to Reader channel as well. But one of the things that I said on the instant reaction was, I was not prepared for so many POVs in this section. In the show, there's not that many POVs, and you know, whatever. But I don't know, it was like things just clicked so differently for me in this book. Like being able to see someone old, young, and then their father old, young, and then their old, young. Like that was so, that's so unique. It was just so unique, and I don't know, I don't feel like it hit me the same way, like from the first time I experienced it to this time. Like this time it was like, again, being able to be in the moment and feeling the feelings and knowing this is what this character felt and putting you in that position rather than viewing it. I don't know. It was just so different, man. It was so different. It impacted me in such a deep way, and I loved it. I love the story that was told from 25 to 26, and I agree with what Ashim said. Is I can't pick one which is my favorite because they're both so good and they tie together in such an amazing way. Like you could just make it one chapter. It's like 25 and then 25.2 because they are so. It was amazing. And then the use of the terminology of stepping forward and back. Oh, bruh. Like, don't get me started. Another thing that I felt like is like we were doing Rand's version of Days of Future Past, but for his ancestors, okay? And another question that I had is this what Rand saw? Is this what everyone that goes through Ruidian sees, and then some people just can't handle it? Like Bro's brother that was in there, like or does everybody see their own specific ancestry, like Black Panther style, when they drink when they take the magic herb and then you see your specific ancestry? Or is it like, no, you're seeing the history of the Aiel, which is the truth, and everyone sees this same truth, and it just depends on how far they can get through the truth, whether they actually are able to comprehend it or not? Because that's kind of the way that I've interpreted it up until this point. But I may be incorrect on that. But that's how I've interpreted it. Is like everyone is kind of going through the same like vibe. Like they're having the same visions because this is what the truth is. You either get with it or you get lost. Quite literally, actually. And I love that. the Aiel not always being the Aiel, but the Aiel also always being the, like, there was just so many layers to these things, and it just shows you how nuanced stuff is. When we get into the actual chapter by chapter review, I'll really dig into these different topics instead of just being very surface level like I'm being right now. But I just wasn't prepared. And although we got a lot of answers, I feel like this book also, again, if anybody, I don't mean to, always bring up the show, but I mean, it's from watcher to reader. So, I am bringing up the show a little bit, but I don't think in the show they drew this parallel between three different, like, sects. Is that the right word? Yeah, sex. What? Three different sectors? Sex. Huh. Three different, I don't know. Three different groups of Aiel, right? I don't think it was like that in the same way. I think it was more so, just very much, the Tuatha'an and the Aiel. But in the book, it's like, oh no, bro, we got the Jin Aiel, we got the Daishan Aiel, we got the Aiel, and then we got, like, I was like, whoa. I was like, wait. Okay, so is this? Is this? Like, I got into that loop, like, I think that's one thing I love as well, is like, does that mean, oh, so does that mean? I'm about to have to get, like, just a button that I can play. So does that mean, because I'm literally, I'm catching everything that's going on, and some stuff is just trailing me off to nowhere, and I'm like, oh, Jordan, you got me. Yeah, and I love the way that, like, the slow roll into the lore, you know what I mean? The slow churn of just letting us know, hey, this is what happened. And as we're going through all of these different pasts, Rand is also confused. So we, the reader, are confused, and then every time Rand comes out of a vision, he's like, okay, so what? I feel like we're having a pep talk in between all of these visions with every step, right? It's like he's coming back and we're like, all right, Rand, so this is what we've learned so far, my guy. And then he's like, all right, let's go. And he takes another step. Okay. I am getting such Kingdom Hearts vibes from this as well. Like, Kingdom Hearts, there's no way these things are not straight up coming from how, all this is. Like, how Sora and Roxas are, like, the same person, and then all of this stuff with other bruh. Like, I feel like that's so, I don't know, bro. I feel like there's just strands of this show, or there's just strands of this book, and everybody that has read the book was like, I love that piece, let's go with that. And then they just took out different segments. Like, that's really how it feels. And that's amazing. Yeah, the way of the leaf. I love the way, again, like I was just saying, the way it feels like Rand's coming back having a pep talk with us before he takes another step, because he's like, wait a minute, the way of the leaf has nothing to do with the Aiel. And for us as the reader, it's like, exactly, Rand, why would they say that? Like, as someone who doesn't know what's going on, like, even though, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know what's going on when it's the first time that we're experiencing this. So it's like, yeah, Rand, why did they say that? What's happening right now? And then with every step, we're just learning more and more and more. And all of these things are really building up a crazy history of what it seems. And I got some more questions, but like I said, we'll dive into that once we get into the chapter by chapter book review. Okay. Parent POV, wasn't prepared for, okay? The parent POV had me, yeah. I wasn't ready, okay? That's all I can say. I wasn't ready for the parent POV. It took me out a little bit. Like, not took me out in a bad way. I mean, no, it got to me. Like, I was like, oh, bruh, what? What's going on? I was like, parent, no. Perrin, and y'all, if y'all are long time watchers, that Perrin is my guy. I love Perrin. Perrin is one of my favorite characters. So to just see him have to go through all of that, I was like, no. And then to see Fael be there for him through everything he went through, I was like, yes, let's go. And then for him to be like, bruh, I can't believe I just broke down like that and let her see me. I'm good. Don't even worry about it. I was like, oh, Perrin, you're not good, bro. You're not good. You're not okay. You're not okay, bro. You are not okay. But he got through it, though. But he got through it. And I'm happy that he got through it. Yeah. The white cloak, yeah, we just learned so much. White cloaks are everywhere. Like we learned everything. And again, this is a lot of the stuff that is happening right now. We are pretty on, like, the show is pretty on par with what happened here, but not to the fullest extent as well. It's completely different. It's wild. It's completely different. You watch the Long Walk trailer? I think I already did do a reaction to the Long Walk. Watch the movie. I think I did a review to it as well. You can check that on the YouTube channel Among Us. And Among Us is a good game. I also like Goose Goose Duck. Yeah, Goose Goose Duck is awesome as well. I want to play some Goose Goose Duck with subscribers and stuff. I think that would be cool. But yeah, you can check that out. I've been watching a lot of Stephen King things lately. Been amazing. But this section definitely, it was an attack on my emotions. This section was an attack on my emotions, but at the same time, I think it was paced perfectly. I can't say it enough. KP, shout out to KP, yo, wherever you are, we love you, man. And you were doing the lights work with this for real, because it's crazy how perfect these sections have been. And I mean perfect. For me, I don't know if it's been perfect for everybody else, but for me and my consumption, like, and the way that the story is, like, going and being told, oh my gosh, it's fantastic, bro. It's fantastic the way that it goes together, and when we leave off on a certain cliffhanger and then I come back, it's like, oh, it just hits. It hits every time, and it's every time. And then today, it just, like, we had all this buildup from last week, and then this week we actually got to get all of this payoff into it. And then as we come down from all of that payoff, we go into we're like, everybody is coming down, all this stuff is going on, whatever, and then we switch POVs to Perrin, and then we're like, wait a minute, oh my gosh, stuff's going back up, and then things started ramping back up, but then it comes down even faster than it did previously because we came. Bruh, beautiful. Love it. I love it. I was locked in. I was locked in. I love this. I love this section. Oh, man, I love it, yo. All right, chat. Let me know how you guys are feeling about it in the comment section down below. Let me know your overall thoughts for this segment of the reading. I enjoyed it, as you can see, and we're about to get into our chapter by chapter review of chapter 25. That's what we're going to be starting with today. Of course, that's where everything starts. My watch is about to die. That's not good. I usually use that for my timer. Now I'm just going to have to use my phone. Let's get that going. Or my stopwatch, I should say, so I can know how much time I'm spending on every section. Clock. Stopwatch. There we go. Alrighty. Oh, and if you guys didn't know, we are right now in the middle of our Gaming Together for Kids fundraiser that we are doing in part with Vane Esports, my esports gaming organization. Make sure you guys, if you have anything to donate, I would love if you could. Everything goes straight to families and children who need it most. I definitely appreciate anybody that can donate. I definitely appreciate everyone that has donated. Shout out to LBF, of course. And yeah, let's get into it right after this. At Vane Esports, gaming has always been about more than just winning. It's about community, connection, and making a difference. This November, we're teaming up with the Extra Life Foundation to support the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, helping kids get the care they need
one game at a time. All month long, Vane members will be gaming, streaming, and creating together, raising money for the Children's Hospital through our event called Gaming Together for Kids. You can join in by watching, donating, or just spreading the word. Every share, every dollar, and every moment helps. We're also launching Vanecraft, our own Minecraft server, where Vane members will be building, streaming, and playing all month long in support of the cause. Because when gamers come together, we can make something truly powerful. We can make a difference. Join us this November for Gaming Together for Kids, watch the streams, support the players, and help us reach our goal: one game, one stream, one life at a time.
Definitely appreciate all the donations. If you can donate, every dollar counts. The link will be in the description down below. Not the description, it should be in the chat. Animation point GT4K. I believe that is what it should be. Does that work? It should work. Maybe not. Whoop. Okay. That's interesting. It's okay. I got the link right here. Oh, I wonder why the command didn't work. Here we go. Let's copy that. We're going to paste that here in the chat. All right. I have a lot of stuff open. Okay, that's that. That's that. That's that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Okay. I heard a child coughing. Had to make sure I didn't have to go into super dad mode. All right. Let's get into
Chapter 25. The Road to the Spear.
Oh baby, the road to the spear indeed. I said during my instant reaction for this, I was like, bro, I have no idea how I am not going to gonna be able to play all of this. Like, I want to play every single second of these chapters because they're bangers, bro. They're bangers. I really don't know what to do. So we're just gonna, I'm not gonna say we're not grooving through it, but yeah, let's just get a feel for what we're in for here.
Not hesitating at the first row of columns, Rand made himself walk in among them. There could be no turning back now. No looking back. Light, what is supposed to happen in here? What does it really do? Clear as the finest glass, perhaps a foot thick and standing 3 paces or more apart, the columns were a forest of dazzling light filled with cascading ripples and glares and odd rainbows. The air was cooler here, enough to make him wish he had a coat, but the same gritty dust covered the smooth white stone under his boots. Not a breeze stirred, yet something made each hair on his body shift, even under his shirt. Ahead and to the right he could just see another man, in the greys and browns of Aiel, stiff and statue still in the changing lights. That must be Muradin, Couladin's brother. Stiff and still. Something was happening. Strangely, considering the brilliance, Rand could make out the Aiel's face clearly. Eyes wide and staring, face tight, mouth quivering on the brink of a snarl. Whatever he was seeing, he did not like it. But Muradin had survived that far, at least. If he could do it, Rand could. The man was 6 or 7 paces ahead of him at best. Wondering why he and Matt had not seen Muradin go in, he took another step. He rode behind a set of eyes, feeling but not controlling a body. The owner of those eyes crouched easily among boulders on a barren mountainside beneath a sun-blasted sky, peering down at strange half-made stone structures. No, less than half-made. That's Ruidian, but without any fog, and only just begun. Peering down contemptuously. He was Mandane, young for a sept chief at 40. Separateness faded. Acceptance came. He was mundane. "You must agree," Sayaldra said, but for the moment he ignored her. The Gen had made things to draw up water and spill it into great stone basins. He had fought battles over less water than one of those tanks held, with people walking by as though water was of no consequence. A strange forest of glass rose in the centre of all their activity, glittering in the sun, and near it the tallest tree he had ever seen, at least 3 spans high. Their stone structures looked as if each was meant to contain an entire hold, an entire sept when done. Madness! This Ruidian could not be defended. Not that anyone would attack the Gen, of course. Most avoided the Gen as they avoided the accursed lost ones, who wandered searching for the songs they claimed would bring back lost days. A procession snaked out of Ruidian toward the mountain, a few dozen Gen and 2 palanquins, each carried by 8 men. There was enough wood in each of those palanquins for a dozen chiefs' chairs. He had heard there were still Aes Sedai among the Gen. "You must agree to whatever they ask, husband," Sayaldra said. He looked at her then, wanting for a moment to run his hands through her long golden hair, seeing the laughing girl who had laid the bridal wreath at his feet and asked him to marry her. She was serious now, though, intent and worried. "Will the others come?" he asked. "Some. Most. I have talked to my sisters in the dream, and we have all dreamed the same dream. The chiefs who do not come, and those who do not agree, their septs will die, Mandane. Within 3 generations they will be dust, and their holds and cattle belong to other septs. Their names will be lost."
Bro, I mean, are we starting off with the bar raised, or are we starting off with the bar raised? Because this is amazing. Like that's just said, this all goes so hard. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I was reading it. I was like, this is fantastic. This is legit fantastic. It's a wonderful experience. It is a wonderful experience. I absolutely had a blast with this chapter. One of the first things that I wrote is I am immediately screaming because I'm pumped, yo. Like, I am so hyped about this. The world building off rip is crazy. We really don't know what's going on, but we kind of do, but we don't, but we kind of do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was wild to see all of these parallel Aiel cultures that were kind of just colliding. And just straight from the rip saying, you know, these are the Aiel, but these aren't the Aiel that are really the Aiel. These are kind of the Aiel. Like, I love all of that, yo. And it just continues to draw more questions as to what's happening. And then, of course, we'll find out that basically all of these domino effects and, you know, these people trying to live on, or these, not even trying, these people living on and existing and evolving, but not changing fully, you know, that's something that is so interesting. I think that's a very interesting area to travel in, is something evolving but not necessarily changing. I don't know. I feel like there should be a word for that. That's just how that, I feel like there's a word for that. But I don't know what it is. Yeah. I just loved it, yo. I loved it. And then I think this is when RJ went, "Let me show you what I can do." Yes, I agree with that so much because it was wild. Septs. They're septs. So is sect and sept like the same thing? Or is sept have like more of a religious connotation to it or something? I don't know. I feel like I'm right about what I just said, though. I might be dead wrong. Let's see. Sept meaning a clan, originally one in Ireland. Oh. Okay. Well, I was wrong. Early 16th century, probably an alteration of sect. Okay, so a sect and a sept are similar. What the hell is a septcentenary? Septcentenary. Okay, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole right now. I just want to know because she says like their septs will die, so all of their clans are basically gonna die. I like that. I like that word, septs. That's nice. Yeah, this was a great chapter, yo. I being able to see all these POVs, like I already said, I just loved it. And then we get this lore drop right here when Great Father Comran first found. Okay, how far are we from this? Because I don't think we're that far from it because we just read that part. Yeah, let's just pull up. Let's just kind of get to.
He did not like her talking, and 100 veiled shapes followed him down the slope, ghosting from boulder to boulder. Bows and spears ready, greys and browns blending with the barren land, vanishing even to his eyes. They were all men. He had left all the women of the sept who carried the spear with the men around Sealdra. If anything went wrong and she decided on something senseless to save him, the men would probably follow her in it. The women would see her back to the hold, whatever she wanted, to protect the hold and the sept. He hoped they would. Sometimes they could be fiercer than any man, and more foolish. The procession from Ruidian had stopped on the cracked clay flat by the time he reached the lower slope. He motioned his men to ground and went on alone, lowering his veil. He was aware of other men moving out from the mountain to his right and left, coming across the baked ground from other directions. How many? 50? Maybe 100? Some faces he had expected to see were missing. Sealdra was right as usual. Some had not listened to their wise one's dream. There were faces he had never seen before, and faces of men he had tried to kill. Men who had tried to kill him. At least none were veiled. Killing in front of a gen was almost as bad as killing a gen. He hoped the others remembered that. Treachery from one, and the veils would be donned. The warriors each chief had brought would come down from the mountains, and this dry clay would be muddied with blood. He half expected to feel a spear through his ribs any moment. Even trying to watch 100 possible sources of death, it was hard not to stare at the Aes Sedai as the bearers lowered their ornately carved chairs to the ground. Women with hair so white it almost seemed transparent. Ageless faces with skin that looked as if the wind might tear it. He had heard the years did not touch Aes Sedai. How old must these two be? What had they seen? Could they remember when his great father Comran first found Ogier steading in the Dragon Wall and began to trade with them? Or maybe even when Comran's great father Roderick led the Aiel to kill the men in iron shirts who had crossed the Dragon Wall. The Aes Sedai turned their eyes on him. Sharp blue and dark, dark brown. The first dark eyes he had ever seen. And seemed to see inside his skull. Inside his thoughts. He knew himself chosen out, and did not know why. With an effort, he pulled away from those twin gazes which knew him better than he knew himself.
Bruh, come on. Again, we are cooking. I can't believe this is just how we start the chapter. Like, Jordan did such a good job of building up to this point. Like, I don't want to say we really had our hands held, because we didn't. We didn't really have our hands held to get to this point. But when you look back, it's like, no, yeah, we did have our hands held to get to this point, and he did a really good job of not making it feel like, oh, here's all this stuff that you need to know. I mean, and even in this book alone, bringing stuff in, and kind of giving you a good refresher of all of the lore and things that have happened already, of the story so far, but also continuing the story from that point. At the same time, you know what I mean? Like, I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that a lot. Yeah. So it was really interesting to see how we've kind of been talking about the parallel Aiel cultures and how that stuff is going on, but it's also very weird. I guess weird is not a good thing to say. I wouldn't say weird, but it's like the Aes Sedai know what's going on, but they don't know what's going on, but also they don't, and also they lost their way, very similar to how everyone else lost their way. It seems like everyone did really lose their way, bro, and it's kind of sad to see how many of these different cultures, you know, did lose their way along the way. But again, the whole evolve but not change thing, right? I think that comes out again right there. And I love when she says, I will match your courage. Like, wow, wow. I love that. I will match your courage is vicious, yo. Um, and then I already talked about how much I love that line, Rand walking forward and backward in time with every step. Like, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. The table is set and we are feasting. I think he's done such a wonderful job here with setting the tone. Like, the tone is set immediately. So as we continue to go through these chapters and we continue to go back in time further and further, when we get to the point of where we actually see how the world once was, we are ready for that, even though we're not ready for it. If that makes sense. It's like, oh, this is what people were talking about before. This is completely different here. Holy. Um, I wrote down, what's up with the horses? Even the past horses got lore to them, and that was really funny. I like that. Um, and then the way Jordan would do things like dropping Flicker or White Cloaked Mountain, like he knows that these are like buzzwords, and he's definitely triggering us on purpose to be like, hey, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean by that? You know? As we're going through these visions, you're gonna say Flicker and think we're not gonna look into that a little bit or try to figure out if something's going on there, just a tiny, like, come on, man. Like, this is a buzzword now. We know what Flicker means. Flicker means something, dog. That's not just a, you know, it's not just a verb. um, and then White Cloaked Mountain was wild. I was like, what? A White Cloaked Mountain? You know, interesting. What an interesting choice of words. uh, oh, and then I really love how they called Brush Sharp Nose. That, well, I didn't love it. I was just rolling. I was like, Sharp Nose is crazy. Because I was just, again, like, what? Um, oh, and then we get a little more lore here. It said that one will come later. The stone that never falls will fall to announce Ruidian at dawn and tie you together with bonds you cannot break. He will take you back and he will destroy you. Oh, we're cooking, yo. We're cooking. I love it. I love it. And right here, this is where this is around when I said, does Jin equal the Tuatha on? You said it twice already because you were feeling it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then I said, I love this. This is definitely the Tuatha on. And that's really how I was feeling. I was like, yo, the things that they were saying, it just made me really like, are we certain about this? Um, Let me see, is this right? And then we switch to Roderick's POV, if I'm not mistaken, because I think we go from that to this. I really love the POV switches and how all of the stories really connected and went together and really did, like I said, they crescendo so well once you get that build up, right? Uh and when we get that little hint of how like the waist doesn't, no, wait, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but when they were like when they said how the waist didn't used to be the waist and it kind of looked like a jungle type of thing before, or it at least had a little bit more life and wasn't a desert. Again, I'm like, bro, how bad did Luce Theron mess up, yo? Like, what? Like, well, I mean, obviously he broke the world, but I mean, bro, for a land to go barren, like, is that all because of Luce Theron? Oh, snap. Did the land go barren? Is it all because of Luce Theron? What? Uh, I think I already said the one was coming. The stone will never fall. Yeah, it cannot break. Yeah, we already talked about that. Jordan, I like going from Jordan and Roderick, like having again, I think I said this, but having those POVs be adjacent to each other, and then going from one person to the other person, but then they're younger. Love it, love it. Give me two of them. Yeah, Rand blinked in the flickering lights. He had been Mandane. You know what I mean? Like, come on, what? You're teasing us here. I also love Mandane. Is it Mandane or Morin? Moirine? Actually, I think it was Maureen. I really appreciated Maureen, cause she was like, yo, I'm saving my daughter, not y'all. And I was like, yo, and then I wrote motherhood supremacy is I'm down for that, bro. Like, let's get it cracking. And she was like, I'm not letting y'all save my daughter. And then I like how bro was kind of trying to talk her out of doing it, you know, like, hey, you're not gonna be able to come back here if you do this. And she's like, no, what? I don't care. And again, I love how this is just we're getting so many different POVs from these characters and from all the ancestors and just figuring out what's really happening or not even what's happening but how we even got here in the first place, right? Like that's the thing that is the most impactful is we're really figuring out the entire story and Rand is really figuring out the whole story and that matters so much. And I love his take on the situation, yo. I love Rand's take on the situation. How he's just like, okay, let me figure out what's going. And then every time he goes through, he look over and he's looking at bro like, how is bro doing over there? And then he takes another step, and then he goes through it, comes back, has his little pep session, looks at bro like, what's going on over there? You know, like I like that he has that little reoccurring thing. And then he's like looking at him as he continues to be literally sent forward into the past. Like what? Like I said before, Days of Future Past Rand edition. uh and as far as I can tell, we are with each step we are going further and further into the past, right? Like we're not just it's not just like a, you know, like I don't think we're like going to this I don't think we're going if this is the timeline, I don't think we're going like back and forth, you know? I don't think we're going back and forth. I feel like we're right here or whatever, and then we're going back, and then we're figuring out all of these things as we go back until the day of the boar opening, you know? Even getting to see what I think is the day the world broke. I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Um, Absolutely crazy.
And one of the mounds heaved. It settled. The snoring began again, and Lewin let himself breathe. Carefully, he crouched beside one of the smaller heaps and flipped aside a rough woolen blanket stiff with dirt. Magran stared up at him, face bruised and swollen, her dress torn to little better than rags. He clapped a hand over her mouth to keep her from crying out, but she only continued to stare blankly, not even blinking.
I am gonna carve you like a pig, boy!
One of the larger mounds tumbled aside, and a wild, bearded man in filthy clothes got to his feet, the long knife in his hand glittering dully in the moonlight, picking up the red glow of the coals. He kicked the mounds to either side of him, producing grunts and stirrings.
Just like a pig. Can you squeal, boy, or do you people just run?
Run, Lewin said, but his sister only stared dully. Frantic, he seized her shoulders, pulled to try starting her toward where the others were waiting. Run! She came out of the blanket stiffly, almost a dead weight. Colleen was awake. He could hear her whimpering, but she seemed to be drawing her dirty blankets around her even more tightly, trying to hide in them. Magran stood there staring at nothing, seeing nothing.
Seems you cannot even do that.
Grinning, the man was coming around the fire, his knife held low. The others were sitting up in their blankets now, laughing, watching the fun. Lewin did not know what to do. He could not leave his sister. All he could do was die. Maybe that would give Magran a chance to run. Run, Magran! Please run! She did not move. She did not even seem to hear him. What had they done to her? The bearded man came closer, taking his time, chuckling, enjoying his slow advance. No! Charlin came hurtling out of the night, throwing his arms around the man with the knife, carrying him to the ground. The other men bounded to their feet. One, his head shaved and shining in the pale light, raised a sword to slash at Charlin. Lewin was not sure exactly how it happened. Somehow, he had the heavy kettle by its iron handle swinging. It struck the shaved head with a loud crunch. The man collapsed as if his bones had melted. Off balance, Lewin stumbled, trying to avoid the fire, and fell beside it, losing the cookpot. A dark man with his hair in braids lifted another sword, ready to skewer him. He scrambled away on his back like a spider, eyes on the sword's sharp point, hands searching frenziedly for something to fend the man off. A stick, anything. His palm fell on rounded wood. He jerked it around, pushed it at the snarling man. The man's dark eyes widened. The sword dropped from his grasp. Blood poured from his mouth. Not a stick. A spear. Lewin's hand sprang away from the haft as soon as he realized what it was. Too late. He crawled backward to avoid the man as he fell, stared at him, trembling. A dead man. A man he had killed. The wind felt very cold. After a time, it came to him to wonder why one of the others had not killed him. He was surprised to see the rest of his friends there around the coals. Gearin and Luca and Elijah, all panting and wild-eyed above their dust veils. Colleen still emitted soft, sniffling sobs from beneath her blankets, and Magran still stood staring. Charlin was huddled on his knees, holding himself. And the 4 men, the villagers. Lewin stared from one motionless, bloody shape to another. We killed them. Luca's voice shook.
Yep.
We... Mercy of the light be with us now. Lewin crawled to Charlin and touched his shoulder. Are you hurt? Charlin fell over. Red wetness slicked his hands, gripping the hilt of the knife driven into his belly. It hurts, Lewin, he whispered. He shuddered once, and the light went out of his eyes. What are we going to do? Gearin asked. Charlin is dead, and we... Light, what have we done?
Bro. Crazy. I understand as well. You know, the little girl is traumatized. And I think she's also very much trying to hold to the religion because later on she's straight up. I don't know if religion is the right thing to say, but you know, she straight up let it be known. He killed bruh that kidnapped me. You know? She lets that shit be known immediately. And I mean, hey, I guess that's the way that it is. Crazy how all of these different sets are born. Like all of these different sets are born from these crazy ways. And they still keep like their same way, but they also don't keep the same way. And you just see how they continue to just branch off over the course of time. No, we already went through Roderick's POV. Yeah, we found out about the water that had to be fought for if men were near. Yeah. We talked about this because this is the mom that's like, bruh, what? What do you think? What do you think this is? Oh, you know what? She says we must leave for the hills and move east. She says the dry rivers will run again and we will build a great city beside one. She says many things. I hear the Aes Sedai can plan to build a city. They have found Ogier to build it for them. Ogier. He shook his head, pulling himself from legends back to reality. Do you think they mean to rule once more the Aes Sedai? I think we should kill them before they can destroy us again. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? What are you talking about? That's how I was like, what's happening? What are we talking about here? Why are we trying to kill the Aes Sedai? And again, I just got more confused about what was actually happening there as we continue to go on, but I kind of understand it. And I think it's very interesting when we go back and then we see how they handled it as soon as the world broke and all of that, or no, when they believe they won. That false win was brutal, baby. And I like when they're like, yo, you name us that to mock us, but it is true. We are the only true Aiel. You have given up the way. That is a lie. He was tripping. Moraine. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can walk cross country in the night dress. Yeah, we know about all that. Oh, and then we find out a little bit about the trees of life. 3 little trees planted in barrels. They care for them almost as well as they do for themselves. When they find the place for safety, they mean to plant them. They say the old days will return. Um, Very well, I am not Jen anymore. This is my husband now. And she's talking about the spear. If someone stole your child, would you talk the way of the leaf and suffering sent to test us? Like, yo, she was going in. So this is also another thing that confirms they are the Tuatha'an. Which is like, what? What does this mean, bro? What does this mean? But it makes sense as well, right? Like, they forgot their oath for real. Like it is that serious apparently. Like they really did forget their oath. um Yeah, this section is rough, even though you've never met Lewin and Maygreen before. I agree. That's kind of what I was kind of getting at earlier as well. Is like the way that Jordan is able to put you in the POV of these characters that we have never seen and heard before ever at all, and then suddenly we're here and we're caring about them and we're hoping everything is going good and we're hoping they're all safe and all these things. It's just so crazy to go through all of that, and then like this is where I get so torn with how like what the Aiel and the Tuatha and all of this, like what they were supposed to do and what the Aes Sedai wanted them to do. It's like, were they just supposed to just take nothing but all this brutality and this these horrible things are supposed to just keep happening to them and they're just supposed to endure over the years and continue to endure and continue to endure, no matter what, and never fight back at all? Like, is that what it is that made them break their oaths? Is that they forgot about doing those things, or what's really happening here? Because it's just so, it's like, bruh, as soon as they go back and the Gramps is tripping, like, you tripping that I like, bro, no, like, what are you doing? And he pops off like, bruh, no, like, bruh, you excommunicado. And then the mother is like, don't look at me. I was like, bro, what? Oh, bro, I couldn't handle it, yo. I could not handle that. I am not gonna lie. They're like, yo, they tried to kill us and they did kill bro. Like, and he just immediately again, he's like, there is no reason. We must accept what comes. Our sufferings are sent to test our faithfulness. We accept and endure. We do not murder. You have not strayed from the way. You have abandoned it. You are Dashan. You are Dashan. What? Dashan? Dashan? I don't know why I'm having an issue with that now. You are Daishan no more, no longer. You are corrupt, and I will not let. Yo, he was tripping, yo. He was like, and I will not have the Aiel corrupted by you. Leave us, strangers, killers. You are not welcome in the wagons of the Aiel. Turned away and dipped. I was like, oh, I was like, oh my god, bro. Like it. And then bro's talking to me. He's like, "Mother, please, who are you that addresses me so? Hide your face from me, stranger." Like, bro, mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is crazy. Oh my goodness, man. I was just not prepared. I was not prepared, bro. I was distraught. I'm gonna be honest. I was just not prepared. Like, oh my goodness. So we're just gonna let all this go down then? Oh. But yeah, so it's like the first two Ata'an that killed, and then it's from that the Aiel are born. Is that the way that they? I don't understand. Has there always been the way, or is this the way that when it was born? You know, or this when the way was born right now? Because it is just insane to see how they just did not fight and stray and so on. Like it's crazy, yo. And then at one point, I was like, "Yo, this is definitely something my mom would have said to me." I think my mom did say this to me back in the day. Like, "Hey, buddy, you ever go down for some crazy shit or anything like that, man? I miss you." Like, what? I was like, "You're not gonna visit me or nothing?" She said, "Hell no." Well, she didn't say hell no because my mom don't cuss, but that was the energy. She was like, "Nope." I was like, "Damn." I was like, "Bet." Under no circumstances. She said, "Hide your face from me, stranger." Beautiful. That was hard. I think I said this a lot. The thing that I really liked about the show is it was like, that shit was like, I don't want to say like religious, but it was. Like that shit was like so good. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like the reenactments of like when the stuff, like when people do the reenactments for like different Bible stories or whatever. It gave me that vibe in the best way possible, though, right? It was a very like the show was such a religious experience, and I can't believe how much that experience translates to the book. Like the book transcends. You know what I mean? It's like a transcending experience, and the show was in a religious experience, and I guess those things kind of go hand in hand with each other as well. And I thought that was very interesting indeed. Very interesting, indubitably. All right. That was chapter 25. Chapter 25 was a banger. Yeah, the show did a lot of justice this section for sure. If you guys have anything that you want to bring up in chapter 25 before we move on to the next chapter, right, let me know right now. Or you guys can still let me know as we go into the next chapter because I'm ready to get into
Chapter 26. The Dedicated. Forward and back. Arden lay in the sandy hollow, clutching his dead son's weeping children, shielding their eyes against his ragged coat. Tears rolled down his face too, but silently, as he peered cautiously over the edge. At 5 and 6, Maegrin and Lewin deserved the right to cry. Arden was surprised he had any tears left himself. Some of the wagons were burning. The dead lay where they had fallen. The horses had already been driven off, except for those still hitched to a few wagons that had been emptied onto the ground. For once he took no notice of the crated things the Aes Sedai had given into Aiel charge, toppled carelessly into the dirt. It was not the first time he had seen that. Or dead Aiel. But this time he could not care. The men with the swords and spears and bows, the men who had done the killing, were loading those empty wagons. With women. He watched Rhea, his daughter, shoved up into a wagon box with the others, crowded together like animals by laughing killers. The last of his children. Elwyn, dead of hunger at 10. Sorelia, at 20, a fever her dreams told her was coming. And Jaren, who threw himself off a cliff a year ago. At 19, when he found he could channel. Marind this morning. He wanted to scream. He wanted to rush out there and stop them from taking his last child. Stop them somehow. And if he did rush out, they would kill him and take Rhea anyway. They might well kill the children too. Some of those bodies sprawled in their own blood were small. Maegrin clutched at him as if she sensed he might leave her. And Lewin stiffened as if he wanted to hold tighter but thought himself too old. Arden smoothed their hair and kept their faces pressed against his chest. He made himself watch, though, until the wagons wheeled away, surrounded by whooping riders, after the horses that were already almost out of sight toward the smoking mountains that lined the horizon. Only then did he stand up, prying the children loose. "Wait here for me," he told them. "Wait until I come back." Clinging to each other, they stared at him with tear-stained white faces, nodded uncertainly. He walked out to one of the bodies, rolled her over gently. Siedra could have been asleep, her face just the way it appeared beside him when he woke each morning. It always surprised him to notice grey in her red-gold hair. She was his love, his life, and ever young and new to him. He tried not to look at the blood soaking the front of her dress, or the gaping wound below her breasts. "What do you mean to do now, Arden? Tell us that. What?" He brushed Siedra's hair from her face. She liked to be neat, and stood, turning slowly to confront the knot of angry, frightened men. Sulwyn was the leader, a tall man with deep-set eyes. He had let his hair grow, Sulwyn had, as if to hide being Aiel. A number of men had. It had made no difference, to these last raiders or those who had come before. "I mean to bury our dead and go on, Sulwyn." His eyes drifted back to Siedra. "What else is there?" "Go on, Arden! How can we go on? There are no horses. There is almost no water, no food. All we have left are wagons full of things the Aes Sedai will never come for. What are they, Arden? What are they that we should give our lives to haul them across the world, afraid to touch them even? We cannot go on as before." "We can," Arden shouted. "We will. We have legs. We have backs. We will drag the wagons if need be. We will be faithful to our duty." He was startled to see his own brandished
she
fist.
is killing it as
Fist.
well.
His hand trembled as he unclenched it and put it down by his side. Sulwyn stepped back, then held his ground with his companions. "No, Arden. We are supposed to find a place of safety, and some of us mean to do that. My great-father used to tell me stories he heard as a boy. Stories of when we lived in safety, and people came to hear us sing. We mean to find a place where we can be safe. And sing again." "Sing?" Arden scoffed. "I've heard those old stories too. That Aiel singing was a wondrous thing. But you know those old songs no more than I do.
What the?
The songs are gone, and the old days are gone. We will not give up our duty to the Aes Sedai to chase after what is lost forever. Some of us will, Arden." The others behind Sulwyn nodded. "We mean to find that safe place. And the songs, too. We will." A crash whipped Arden's head around. More of Sulwyn's cronies were unloading one of the wagons, and a large flat crate had fallen, half breaking open to reveal what looked like a polished doorframe of dark red stone.
Like, excuse me? So the Aiel had all of the Angrial, Salangrial, Talangrial, like they had everything? Like, bro, what is happening? That's how I felt when we was right here, bro, because I didn't understand, right? So here are my notes for this as we were going through it, right? Bro just letting them take his daughter. This is sad and terrifying. Bury the dead and go on. Nah, I'm sobbing. Adan or Aiden. Adan, there you go. Adan is built different, but also, bro, what are you talking about? Aiel Singh, Ogier Singh, is there some type of connection there? Like, that's what I was trying to figure out. And then, of course, I was like, the Aiel had the door. The red door is here too. Like, what does this mean? what does this mean? What are we doing here, right? Like, they had the damn door. I had no idea. And then, of course, the Way of the Leaf is just wild. It's just wild that all of this ancient history and all. Okay. This is the thing that I said here. It's wild that all of this is ancient history, but it's still all after the breaking of the world. What do you think? I think I was cooking with that one. What do you mean? What do you think? What do you think? I think I was cooking with that one. It is wild that all of this is like ancient history, and it's still all after the breaking of the world. What? Like, that is crazy to me. That is just so crazy to even think of. I really don't even know how that's possible. You know what I mean? It's like, what? How do we not remember this stuff but it also happened after the breaking of the world. Like, do you know how much had to go down after the breaking of the world for us to have forgotten this knowledge? I'm saying it like I'm living in this world, but that's the way that I like to be into these shows. Is it's like, yo, or into these worlds. It's like we're in it, right? So it's like we're just now. How do we forget this? How long ago was this? I think that was one of my. Now, I don't want to say complaints, but that was one of my things. It was like, bro, there is no timestamp on where we are or what's going on. We're just kind of having to figure it out along the way. And we're like, oh, okay, so that's when this thing happened, right? Because I don't know. Let's see. Where we going?
200? You have chora cuttings, one of the Ogier said. His thick fingers gently
Are we in the? Was that the right chapter? Yeah, it is.
asked her where there was a place of
Okay,
safety.
I forgot about this happened.
Her dress had been patched and worn at the hem. He was not sure she had been sane. She claimed one of the Forsaken was only partly trapped, or maybe not at all. Ishamael still touched the world, she said. She had to be as mad as the remaining male Aes Sedai. He pulled his mind back to the Ogier as they stood unsteady on their great legs. His thoughts wandered too much since Alnora's death. They had bread and bowls in their hands. He was shocked to feel a prick of anger that someone had shared their meagre stock of food. How many of his people could eat on what 50 Ogier could consume? No. To share was the way. To give freely. 100 people? 200? You have chora cuttings, one of the Ogier said. His thick fingers gently brushed the trefoil leaves of the 2 potted plants tied to the side of a wagon. Some, Arden said curtly. They die, but the old folk keep new cuttings before they do. He had no time for trees. He had a people to look after. How bad is it in the north? Bad, an Ogier woman replied. The blighted lands have grown southward, and there are Myrddraal and Trollocs. I thought they were all dead. Not north, then. They could not turn north. South? The Sea of Jeren lay 10 days south. Or did it any longer? He was tired. So tired. You have come from the east? Another Ogier asked. He wiped his bowl with a heel of bread and gulped it down. How is it to the east? Bad, Jonai replied. Perhaps not so bad for you, though. 12 days ago, some people took a third of our horses before we could escape. We had to abandon wagons. That pained him. Wagons left behind, and what was in them. The things the Aes Sedai had placed in Aiel charge.
I gotta get some water real quick.
That it was not the first time only made it worse. Almost everyone we meet takes things. Whatever they want. Perhaps they will not be so with Ogier, though. Perhaps, an Ogier woman said as if she did not believe it. Jonai was not certain he did either. There was no safe place. Do you know where any of the steading are? Jonai stared at her. No, I do not. But surely you can find the steading. We have run so far, so long, an Ogier back in the huddle said, and another added in a mournful rumble. The land has changed so much. I think we must find a steading soon, or die, the first Ogier woman said. I feel a longing in my bones. We must find a steading. We must. I cannot help you, Jonai said sadly. He felt a tightness in his chest. The land changed beyond knowing, changing still, so the plain travelled last year might be mountains, this. The blighted lands growing. Myrddraal and Trollocs still alive. People stealing, people with faces like animals, people who did not recognize Dashane or know them. He could barely breathe. The Ogier lost, the Aiel lost, everything lost. The tightness broke in pain, and he sank to his knees, doubled over, clutching his chest. A fist held his heart, squeezing. Arden knelt beside him worriedly. Father, what is it? What is the matter? What can I do? Jonai managed to seize his son's frayed collar and pull his face close. Take the people south. He had to force the words out between spasms that seemed to be ripping his heart out. Father, you are the one who... Listen, Listen! Take them south. Take the Aiel to safety. Keep the Covenant. God, what the Aes Sedai gave us until they come for it. The way of the leaf. You must. He had tried. Solinda Sedai must understand that. He had tried.
Yo.
Alnora. Alnora. The name faded. The pain in Rand's chest loosened. No sense. It made no sense. How could these people be Aiel?
Aiel? Like,
The
what?
columns flashed in blinding
What's
passes.
happening?
The air stirred, swirling. Beside him, Muradin's mouth stretched wide in an effort to scream. The Aiel clawed at his veil, clawed at his face, leaving deep, bloody scratches. Forward.
Oh my goodness. Come on, son. This is crazy. This is wild. I love this. It just fills me with so much. There's just so much passion happening right now, bro. Everyone is going through it. And we've seen some of these moments, but they kind of blended them. You know, they blended a lot of these moments together. And that's okay. You know, there's nothing bad about that. I'm just saying a lot of this was blended together from the show POV. So to see it all in this different perspectives and then be inside the mind of these characters to really be able to zero in on how they're feeling and really be able to lock in on, you know, what they're saying and what they're doing. I love that. I love that. I really do. I love it a lot, bro. This is fantastic. This was a fantastic chapter. Not that, you know, we're done. I'm just saying this was a fantastic chapter. So we're now we're kind of getting a little bit more information, right? When it comes to the Daishan. I don't know why I'm having an issue with that. With the three different Aiels that they are, right? So around here, I was like, okay, I was like, damn, Jonai had a heart attack. That's crazy. Was not ready for that. And then, wait, am I tripping? Oh no, I'm not tripping. Okay, yeah. Like, so what's going on with and then what's going on with the Nim? No idea. What's up with them? Okay, that's not working. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, what is the Nim? That was insane. The Daishan, the Daishan Aiel, the Jin Aiel, and the Aiel. I'm trying to figure out like what's going on there. And then we're also trying to figure out who is Jarek and how did he level a city, right? So around here is when I'm like, okay, I think the Daishan are the Tinkers. I think the Jin are the Shan are the Sea Folk, and then I think that the Aiel are the Aiel that we have now, modern day, right? So that's kind of my understanding of them. You've seen Nim before. Is Nim the is that the green dude? The what was his name? The Green Knight? I think that's actually a book. It keeps happening. We'll have to freaking staple it or duct tape it there. I don't know. The Green Man at the Eye of the World. Okay, it is him. Okay. Yeah, I kind of thought that. I just didn't recall them being called the Nim. I don't remember them being called the Nim. Ooh, that was tough. Yeah. I think that's my only. Maybe that's why I was confused. And we've only seen one. I think this is our second Nim that we've seen, and I like that. I like that a lot. It's so this world was so interesting, bro. Like how Like, what is happening? Like, we had all this freaking futuristic technology, but there's also ogiers and tree people and all of these things. Like, bro, I need me a book placed in this timeline, like in this part of the timeline. That's what I need. Like, I need it in my life unequivocally because it's just so unique. It's so I love it, bro. I love it. 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 Ah, oh, I love it a lot, bro. Um, and then it was very interesting where they say that Kodam and his fellows are barely touched by the taint. I was very confused by why they would mention that. Um, because it felt like, does this mean like certain people or certain, certain sects are or certain sets are more likely, to have the taint be affected by the taint, you know? Um oh.
Out formally as the Nim rose, his head brushing the ceiling. Already immersed in their plans, they were not looking at him, but he did them this last honor anyway. He did not think he would ever see them again. He ran from the hall of the servants, all the way out of the city to where the great gathering waited. Thousands of wagons in 10 lines stretching nearly 2 leagues. Wagons loaded with food and water barrels. Wagons loaded with the crated things the Aes Sedai had given into Aiel charge. Angreal and Sa-Angreal and Ter-Angreal. All the things that had to be kept from the hands of men going mad while they wielded the One Power. Once there would have been other ways to carry them. Jokars and jumpers, hoverflies and huge show wings. Now, painfully assembled horses and wagons had to suffice. Among the wagons stood the people, enough to populate a city, but perhaps all the Aiel left alive in the world. 100 came to meet him, men and women, the representatives demanding word of whether the Aes Sedai had granted leave for some to stay. No, he told them. Some frowned reluctantly, and he added, "We must obey. We are Darshain Aiel, and we obey the Aes Sedai." They dispersed back to their wagons slowly, and he thought he heard Kumin's name mentioned. But he could not let it trouble him. He hurried to his own wagon at the head of one of the center lines. The horses were all nervous, with the ground shaking at intervals.
Okay.
His sons were already up on the seat. Willem, 15, with the reins, and Arden, 10, beside him, both grinning with nervous excitement. Little Isol lay playing with a doll on top of the canvas tied over their possessions, and more important, their charges from the Aes Sedai.
Bam.
There was no
Okay.
room for any to ride but the young and the very old. A dozen rooted chora cuttings in clay pots sat behind the wagon seat, to be planted when they found a place of safety. A foolish thing to carry, perhaps, but no wagon was without its potted cuttings. Something from a time long gone, symbol of a better time to come. People needed hope. And symbols. Alnora waited beside the team, glossy black hair tumbling about her shoulders and reminding him of the first time he saw her as a girl. But worry had etched lines around her eyes now. He managed a smile for her, hiding the worry in his own heart. "All will be well, wife of my heart."
Man.
She did not answer, and he added, "Have you dreamed?" "Of no time soon," she murmured. "All will be well, and all manner of things will be well." Smiling tremulously, she touched his cheek. "With you, I know it will be so, husband of my heart." Jonai waved his arms over his head, and the signal rippled down the lines. Slowly, the wagons began to move. The Aiel, leaving Paradisen. Rand shook his head. Too much. Memories crowding together. The air seemed filled with sheet lightning. The wind swirled gritty dust into dancing whirlwinds. Muradin had clawed deep furrows in his face. He was digging at his eyes now.
Bruh. Oh my goodness. What is happening? Okay, so the world is obviously shaking at this point, but does that mean that where we are now is the world breaking? Is this when Lews Therin Telamon is doing like his and breaking the world? Is that what's happening here? By the way, if any of you are in the Discord, can you please drop a playlist of the Wheel of Time shorts that there were on Prime Video, because I know they're not out there anymore, but I know someone has a playlist of all of them, because I feel like we've talked about it before, and I need to watch those. Like I'm so interested in watching those again now with all of my newfound knowledge that I have from the books. You know what I mean? Like I feel like even those were fire, bro. Those were fire. I need more. I need so many more of everything that's Wheel of Time adjacent. Like, please and thank you. Sign me up. Sign me up for a double box of double stuffed chocolate muffins. Okay, yeah, and I was like, yo, I did not realize that the Nim was the Green Man. I kind of thought about that, but when he was like inside of a building to begin with and all of that, I just did not think that anyone knew. I did not think that they were like cohorting together. You know, I did not think that the Nim, the Ogier, the Aes Sedai, and the Aiel knew. Like, what? Like, everything, every time we learn something new, it just raises so many other questions. Like, how did this happen? How did this come about? Where's everybody now? Why aren't they locked in anymore? Like, you know, again, just more and more questions, more and more questions, more and more questions. But I love it. And the fact that they start talking about, what is it? It was like sky, like hovercrafts and Joe carts and jumpers. Like, bro, what are these things and why? Like, again, give me an entire series that is based off of this. Like, give me this era, full show, not show, full story, full book, full everything based off of where we are right now, because it's a perfect place to do it. You know what I mean? Like, wow. Like, honestly, beautiful. Remember the Tuata'an, aka the Tinkers? Yeah, the Tuatha'an are the ones looking for a song. Daishan Aiel are the servants of the Aes Sedai. And then the Gen Aiel are the Aiel who continue to follow the way of the leaf. Yeah. I got that part of it. I got that part of it for sure. One of the things getting a timeline here is in the Age of Legends, people lived forever. Oh, I didn't realize that. It was like paradise. Like, again, how did we get there? Like, that's crazy. They told us they were getting more origin shorts in August 3 years ago. Ooh. Nim, Orgir, and Aiel singing to basically instantly. Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy. Crazy. I was just not ready. And yeah, that was something else that I was very confused about. I have that right here. It was like, yo, the Daishan obey the Aes Sedai? Like, what's going on? I was just very like, what's going on here? You know, what's up with the Aes Sedai? Like, not the Aes Sedai. What's up with the Aiel? Like, what's up with them as a people? What's up with them? We'll get into that a little bit later, but, you know, just this is where I started questioning what's going on. And then this is also where I put that even the Vision horses have character, LOL. Because they definitely had some attitude about the world shaking and them being expected to keep galloping on. And that had me rolling. It was like they like looked at each other. I was like, back
Forward. Kumin knelt at the edge of the ploughed ground in his working clothes, plain brownish-grey coat and breeches and soft-laced boots, in a line with others like him that surrounded the field. 10 men of the Darshain Aiel at twice-stretched arm's length, and then an Ogier, all the way around. He could see the next field, lined the same way, beyond the soldiers with their shock lances sitting atop armoured Jokars. A hoverfly buzzed overhead in its patrol, a deadly black metal wasp containing 2 men. He was 16, and the women had decided his voice was finally deep enough to join in the seed singing. The soldiers fascinated him, men and Ogier, the way a colourful poisonous snake might. They killed. His father's great father, Chan, claimed there had been no soldiers once, but Kumin did not believe it. If there were no soldiers, who would stop the Night Riders and the Trollocs from coming to kill everyone? Of course, Chan claimed there had not been any Murdral or Trollocs then either. No Forsaken, no Shadow-wrought. He had many stories he claimed were from a time before soldiers and Night Riders and Trollocs, when he said the Dark Lord of the Grave had been bound away, and no one knew his name or the word war. Kumin could not imagine such a world. The war had been old when he was born. He enjoyed Chan's stories even if he could not make himself believe, but some earned the old man frowns and scoldings. Like when he claimed to have served one of the Forsaken once. Not just any Forsaken, but Lanfear herself. As well say he had served Ishamael. If Chan had to make up stories, Kumin wished he could say he had served Luz Therin, the great leader himself. Of course, everyone would ask why he was not serving the dragon now, but that would be better than the way things were. Kumin did not like the way citizens looked at Chan when he said that Lanfear had not always been evil. A stir at the end of the field told him one of the Nim was approaching. The great form, head and shoulders and chest taller than any Ogier, stepped out onto the seeded ground, and Kumin did not have to see to know he left footprints filled with sprouting things. It was Shomeshtar, surrounded by clouds of butterflies, white and yellow and blue. Excited murmurs rose from the townspeople, and the folk whose fields these were gathered to watch. Each field would have its Nim now. Kumin wondered if he could ask Shomeshtar about Chan's stories. He had spoken to him once, and Shomeshtar was old enough to know if Chan was telling the truth. The Nim were older than anyone. Some said the Nim never died, not so long as plants grew. But this was no time to be thinking of questioning a Nim. The Ogier began it, as was fitting, standing to sing. Great bass rumbles like the earth singing. The Aiel rose, men's voices lifting in their own song, even the deepest at a higher pitch than the Ogier's. Yet the songs braided together, and Shomeshtar took those threads and wove them into his dance, gliding across the field in swooping strides, arms wide, butterflies swirling about him, landing on his spread fingertips. Kumin could hear the seed singing around the other fields, hear the women clapping to urge the men on, their rhythm the heartbeat of new life. But it was a distant knowledge. The song caught him up, and he almost felt that it was himself, not the sounds he made, that Shomeshtar wove into the soil and around the seeds. Seeds no longer, though. Zemai sprouts covered the field, taller wherever the Nim's foot had trod. No blight would touch those plants, nor any insect. Seed sung, they would eventually grow twice as high as a man and fill the town's grain barns. This was what he had been born for, this song and the other seed songs. He did not regret the fact that the Aes Sedai had passed him over at 10, saying he lacked the spark. To have been trained as Aes Sedai would have been wondrous, but surely no more so than this moment. The song faded slowly, the Aiel guiding its end. Shomeshtar danced a few steps more after the last voices ceased, and it seemed the song still hung faintly in the air for as long as he moved. Then he stopped, and it was done. Kumin was surprised to see that the townspeople were gone, but he had no time to wonder where they had gone or why. The women were coming, laughing, to congratulate the men. He was one of the men now, not a boy any longer, though the women alternated between kissing him on the lips and reaching up to ruffle his short red hair. It was then that he saw the soldier, only a few steps away, watching them. He had left his shock lance and fancloth battle cape somewhere, but he still wore his helmet, like some monstrous insect's head, its mandibles hiding his face though his black shock visor was raised. As if realizing he still stood out, the soldier pulled off the helmet, revealing a dark young man no more than 4 or 5 years older than Kumin. The soldier's unblinking brown eyes met his, and Kumin shivered. The face was only 4 or 5 years older, but those eyes... The soldier would have been chosen to begin his training at 10, too. Kumin was glad Aiel was spared that choosing. One of the Ogier, Tomada, came over. Tufted ears slanted forward inquisitively.
Do you have news, woman? I saw excitement among the jokers while we sang.
The soldier hesitated. I suppose I can tell you, though it's not confirmed. We have a report that Luz Therin led the companions on a strike at Sheol Ghul this morning at dawn. Something is disrupting communications, but the report is the bore has been sealed, with most of the Forsaken on the other side. Maybe all of them.
Then it is over.
Tomada breathed.
Over at last. The light be praised.
Yes. The soldier looked around, suddenly seeming lost. I suppose it is. I suppose... He peered at his hands, then let them fall to his sides again. He sounded weary. The local folk could not wait to begin celebrating. If the news is true, it might go on for days. I wonder if... No, they will not want soldiers joining them. Will you?
For tonight, perhaps, Tomata said. But we have 3 more towns to visit before our circuit is done.
Of course. You still have work to do. You have that. The soldier looked around again. Well, there are still Trollocs. Even if the Forsaken are gone, there are still Trollocs. And Night Riders. Nodding to himself, he started back toward the Joe
are in fact Midral, right?
Tomada did not appear excited at all, of course, but Kumin felt as stunned as the young soldier. The war was over? What would the world be like without war? Suddenly he had to talk to Chan. Sounds of merrymaking rolled out to meet him before he reached the town, laughing, singing. The bells in the town hall tower began ringing exuberantly. Townspeople danced in the streets, men and women and children. Kumin dodged between them, searching. Chan had elected to stay at one of the inns where the Aiel were putting up, instead of coming to the singing. Even the Aes Sedai could no longer do much for the aches in his aged knees. But surely he would be out for this. Abruptly, something struck Kumin in the mouth, and his legs buckled. He was pushing himself to his knees before he realized he was down. A hand put to his mouth came away bloody. He looked up to find an angry-faced townsman standing over him, nursing a fist. "Why did you do that?" he asked. The townsman spat at him. "The Forsaken are dead. Dead, do you hear? Lanfear will not protect you anymore. We will root out all of you who serve the Forsaken while pretending to be on our side, and treat the lot of you as we treated that crazy old man." A woman was tugging at the man's arm. "Come away, Toma, come away, and hold your foolish tongue. Do you want the Ogier to come for you?" Suddenly wary, the man let her pull him away into the crowd. Struggling to his feet, Kumin began to run, heedless of the blood oozing down his chin. The inn was empty, silent. Not even the innkeeper was there, or the cook, or her helpers. Kumin ran through the building, shouting, "Chan! Chan! Chan!" Out back, maybe. Chan liked to sit under the spice apple trees behind the inn and tell his stories of the days when he was young. Kumin ran out the back door and tripped, falling on his face. It was an empty boot that had caught his toe. One of Chan's red dress boots that he wore all the time now that he no longer joined in the singing. Something made Kumin look up. Chan's white-haired body hung from a rope pulled over the ridgepole. 1 foot bare where he had kicked his boot off. The fingers of one hand caught at his neck where he had tried to pull the rope free. "Why?" Kumin said. "We are Darshane! Why?" There was no one to answer. Clutching the boot to his chest, he knelt there, staring up at Chan, as the noise of revelry washed over him.
Bruh. Absolutely insane, sad, and heartbreaking. And again, what the hell is going on with the Aes Sedai, bro? This is what I'm saying. Like, what's happening here? Why did he start calling him citizen? Like, what's happening? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was so confused. Like, so people just immediately started turning on the Dashine, or the Dashine, with the whatever the hell. Dashine. What they just said it. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say that. Damn.
Pulled over the ridgepole. 1 foot bare where he had kicked his boot off. The fingers of one hand caught at his neck where he had tried to pull the rope free. "Why?" Kumin said. "We are Darshane! Why?" There was no...
Darshane. But yeah, bro, so crazy to see that happen. I'm not really sure why everybody just turned on them immediately, you know? And like, why do they think that they were, you know, like what was happening? Okay, so let's go. Let's start from shots top to bottom here. Shock lances? What the hell are going? What is a shock lance? What is a shock lance? And why are they like, yo, there's no more Forsaken, there's no Night Riders, or whatever they were trying to say, you know, like, and then we also find out that Lanfear had been Lanfearin since Lanfear had been Lanfear, and that is insane, you know. And then also we do find out that the Aiel and the Ogier are in fact connected. And then I don't think we saw any of this stuff kind of happen in the show. Shock. We hear about like a shock visor, shock this, shock that. Like they have shock helmets, shock visors, shock. Like, bro, what is going on? And it was also very interesting that the lady was like, yo, you don't want the Ogier to come for you. Does everybody know something about the Ogier? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, are the Ogier like police here? You know? Like, are they polices? Are they of the Popo? Because what does that mean? Like, you don't want them to get you. Ogier is turned up like that. We did just hear about the Ogier, you know, that they were gangsters basically, and they was not playing that shit. Why do they think that the Aiel helped the Forsaken? You know, that's another question that I have. Why do the Aiel think? Why do they think that? And why immediately as all of this stuff is happening, it's like, yeah, like, bro, yeah, we gonna get y'all. Like, what? What does that even mean? I'm confused. Is it because other bruh was like he did help Lanfear before she was Lanfear, and how Lanfear wasn't always evil and all of that? Is like that the reason why? Like, did they just take that from one person and now they assume that that is from everybody? You know, like what? Or is it just because all of the since since all of the Aes Sedai had an Aiel, like how every Aes Sedai has a warder, it seems like, or something, you know, like, shit, ow, since that's a fact, I mean, did some of the Aiel just help their Aes Sedais because they were just obligated to, or what? And now that got people furious and irritated, because, like, excuse me, what's happening here? And then one of my questions was, were the Aiels like slaves to the Aes Sedai? Because that's very much the energy that it was giving, but in a weird way. I think specifically what really made me start being like, huh? Was like when it was like, oh yeah, I want to get married. Like, I think Brett said he wanted to get married to somebody, and his Aes Sedai already like basically gave him away to the like or gave him his blessing to go to the other one, because once he marries her, he'll automatically become her Aes Sedai's Aiel. Like, what is happening there? I don't. I I have so many questions as to what's going on with the Aiel and why are they serving in this way and all of this stuff. And they call bro like he called bro citizen for some reason. Like, legit, nothing but more questions kept arising as I was doing this reading, because I was like, okay, what is happening here? What do you mean when you get married, you become the other woman's property, like the either Aes Sedai's property? Like, what? Like, in so many words, that's what's being said here. So like, I'm like, what's going on? We definitely need some more answers. I do not believe we got those answers in this section, though. I will say that.
The last time men and women would work together, wielding a different power. Today. What seemed a tiny chip. Mierin had found his lady, so that it was my fault. It had been hurrying like that. He could have injured the man. Did I harm you? Please forgive me. The man opened his mouth to protest. Citizens always did. They seemed to think Aiel were made of spin glass. But before he could speak, the ground rippled under their feet. The air rippled too, in spreading waves. The man looked about uncertainly, pulling his stylish fancloth cloak around himself and his lady so their heads seemed to float disembodied. What is it? Darshane? Others who had seen Chan's hair were gathering around him anxiously asking the same questions, but he ignored them, not even thinking of whether he was being rude. He actually began to push through the crowd, his eyes fixed on the Sharome. The white sphere, 1,000 feet in diameter, floated as high above the blue and silver domes of the Kulian Da'an. Mierin had said today was the day. She said she had found a new source for the One Power. Female Aes Sedai and male would be able to tap the same source.
Don't tell me yet,
not
Arkham. Stop typing right
what
now,
men and
sir.
women could do united would be even greater now that there would be no differences. And today she and Baedemon would tap it for the first time. The last time men and women would work together wielding a different power. Today. What seemed a tiny chip of white spun away from the Sharome in a jet of black fire. It descended, deceptively slow, insignificant. Then 100 gouts spurted everywhere around the huge white sphere. The Sharome broke apart like an egg and began to drift down, falling, an obsidian inferno. Darkness spread across the sky, swallowing the sun in unnatural night, as if the light of those flames was blackness. People were screaming everywhere. With the first spurt of fire, Chan broke into a run toward the Kuliam Da'an, but he knew he was too late. He was sworn to serve Aes Sedai, and he was too late. Tears rolled down his face as he ran. Blinking to dispel the spots fluttering across his vision, Rand squeezed his head with both hands. The image still drifted through his head, that huge sphere, burning black, falling. Did I really see the hole being drilled into the Dark One's prison?
Yeah, bro,
Did
you
I?
did.
He stood at the edge of the glass columns, staring out at Avendasora. A Chora tree. A city is a wilderness without Choras. And now there's only one. The columns sparkled in the blue glow from the dome of fog above, but once again the light seemed only brilliant reflections. There was no sign of Muradin. He did not think the Aiel had come out of the glass forest, or ever would. Suddenly, something caught his eye.
Okay, before we get to that, absolutely insane. So we find out that land fear is basically the cause of everything. I don't know if that's correct, but that's always the way that I've interpreted it. You know what I mean? It's like she opened the thing she opened Pandora's box, basically. Unfortunately, she opened Pandora's box, and there was nothing that could be done about it. And that is so unfortunate. But unfortunately, it'd be like that. There's absolutely nothing that could be done about it. Wild, man. Wild. So, amazing. Like, legit amazing. I loved it. I love it, bro. I love it. I can't lie to you. Sign me all the way up for everything that we figure out, yo. So wild how it goes from, Mirian had said today was the day. She said she had found a new source for the one power. Female Aes Sedai and male would be able to tap into the same source, yo. Not separate halves. What men and women could do united would be even greater now that there would be no differences. And today, she said all of this was going to be going down. And we also find out about Bideman here. Crazy names as well. And today, she and Bideman would tap into it for the first time. The last time men and women would work together wielding a different power. So everything was in good faith, unfortunately. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, baby. Ain't that what they say? Ain't that how the saying goes? And I think that this is a really good representation of that, right? She definitely wanted to, again, make sure that there's one source that both can be used, but it just don't work like that, unfortunately. It don't work that way, and it's unfortunate. And I'm very interested if it was like kind of like a Shang-Chi's dad situation, to where, like, was she finessed into doing this and boring in, like, going, what did she say? Or what did Rand say? Did I really just see the... No. What was it? Did I really see the hole being drilled into the Dark One's prison? So it's like, was Lanfear's goal to always drill a hole into the Dark One's prison? Or was she actually really trying to make sure that there was one source for everyone to use that was connected? You know what I mean? Or was her actual plan always to bore into the, to do that? Because knowing Lanfear, you know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like Lanfear been Lanfear since Lanfear been Lanfear. Can you hear me there? And we have to remember, like, there is a very big chance that we could have a case of unreliable narrator. I mean, not even a chance. These narrators aren't reliable at all. They don't even know shit that's going on either. You know, they just as confused as us the entire time. Like, we're only getting context on these things because we are going through all of these visions. You know what I mean? But for each of these people, they had no idea what was happening. They were so confused about life. They had no idea. All they knew was they were just going to keep moving forward. And that's what they did. Confused and all, they just kept moving forward. And that is, you know, that is why it's funny too, is because they were just like, bro, what the hell is going on? Like, they didn't get the context we got. They just died with no idea what was really happening in life. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So legit, absolutely crazy. And again, don't know who Bitamon is, but we gonna find out. At this time, everyone had such different lives and names. So now I am very interested in knowing about the whole Aes Sedai and the world, the earthquake that was happening. Like, was that Lews Therin at that point? Because the boar was obviously way before that even, right? Like, or no, you know, I'm not even entirely sure what that timeline is, bro. Like, when did the hole into the dark one? Well, that obviously had to happen first, right? Because it was them trying to close the Dark One's prison that caused the taint to happen. And then even later on from that is when Lews Therin actually became Kinslayer, right? Like those are kind of the how the events unfolded, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Because I'm not entirely sure. Of course, I'm not sure. I mean, this is the first read. I'm still trying to kind of get, you know, everything. Because what I was about to say that. So, because what I imagined is like basically the how you go back is you go forward, and then that's the timeline, you know, and that's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy that because we don't know what Lanfear's purpose was with what she was trying to do for real. We just know the perspective of, hey, she was trying to make this new energy source, but that could have very much been a lie. Especially if she was working for the Dark One already, bruh could have been compelled in some motion, right? Like, we know that this is what Aes Sedai, not the Aes Sedai, but the Black Aja are able to do. And I guess in a lot of ways, Lanfear is like the OG Black Aja. If she was the first, if her drilling a hole into the Dark One's prison was what she was trying to do. Which even that in itself is crazy. Like, how did we even get to the point of trying to drill a hole in the Dark One's prison? I'm telling you, I need an entire book set in I need an entire book that does exactly what these chapters did. Like, I need chapter 25 and chapter 26 as a book. But it's all about all of the past people. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what I need, man. I think that's what I need in my life. It's okay if we don't get it, but that just sounds amazing. Because, like, oh, okay, let's get it. This is a longer chapter, of course, so we got to keep
Low
rocking.
in the branches of the Tree of Life, a shape swinging slowly. A man, hanging from a pole laid across two branches by a rope around his neck. With a wordless roar, he ran for the tree, grabbing at Saidin, the fiery sword coming into his hands as he leaped, slashing at the rope. He and Matt hit the dusty white paving stones with twin thuds. The pole jarred free and clattered down beside them. Not a pole, but an odd black-hafted spear with a short sword blade in place of a spear point, slightly curved and single-edged.
Chat,
Rand
can
would not
y'all
have cared if
remind
it
me
was made
what
of gold and
those
Quendiar set
wishes
with
were that
sapphires and
Matt
fire
made
drops.
real quick, please?
Letting sword and power go, he ripped the rope away from Matt's neck and pressed an ear to his friend's chest. Nothing. Desperately, he tore open Matt's coat and shirt, breaking the leather cord that held a silver medallion on Matt's chest. He tossed the medallion aside, listened again. Nothing. No heartbeat. Dead. No, he'd be all right if I hadn't let him follow me here. I can't let him be dead. As hard as he could, he pounded his fist against Matt's chest. Listened. Nothing. Again he hammered. Listened. Yes. There. A faint heartbeat. It was. So faint. So slow. And slowing. But Matt was still alive, despite the heavy purple welt around his neck. He might yet be kept alive. Filling his lungs, Rand scrambled around to breathe into Matt's mouth as strongly as he could. Again. Again. Then he leaped astride Matt, seized the waist of his breeches, and heaved
y'all let me
upwards,
know
lifting his
what,
hips off the pavement,
Matt's
up and down 3 times, and then back to
wishes
breathing
were,
into his
please?
mouth. He could have channeled. He might have been able to do something that way.
What his wishes
The memory
were
of
that
that
he
girl
made?
in the stone stopped him. He wanted Matt to live, not be a puppet moved by the power. Once, back in Emmons Field, he had seen Master Luhan revive a boy who had been found floating in the winespring water. So he breathed and heaved, and prayed. Abruptly, Matt jerked, coughed. Rand knelt beside him as he put both hands to his throat and rolled onto his side, sucking air in an agonized rattle. Matt touched the piece of rope with one hand and shivered.
Those flaming sons of goats,
He muttered hoarsely.
they tried to kill me.
Who did? Rand asked, looking around warily. Half-finished palaces around the great littered square stared back at him.
Who
Surely
did?
Ruidian was empty except for the 2 of them, unless Muradin was still alive somewhere.
The folk on the other side of that twisted doorway.
Swallowing painfully, Matt sat up and took a deep, unsteady breath. There's one here too, Rand. He still sounded as if his throat had been rasped. You could go through it? Did they answer questions? That could be useful. He desperately needed more answers. 1,000 questions and too few answers. No answers, Matt said huskily.
They cheat, and they tried to kill me.
He picked up the medallion, a silver fox head that almost filled his palm, and after a moment stuffed it into his pocket with a grimace. I got something out of them, at least. Pulling the strange spear to him, he ran his fingers along the black shaft. A line of some strange cursive script ran its length, bracketed by a pair of birds inlaid in metal even darker than the wood. Ravens, Rand thought they were. Another pair were engraved on the blade. With a rough, wry laugh, Matt levered himself to his feet, half leaning on the spear, the sword blade beginning just level with his head. He did not bother to lace up his shirt or button his coat. I'll keep this too. Their joke, but I will keep it. A joke? Matt nodded. What it says. Thus is our treaty written, thus is agreement made. Thought is the arrow of time. Memory never fades. What was asked is given. The price is paid. A pretty joke, you see. I'll slice them with their own wit if I ever get the chance. I'll give them thought and memory. He winced, scrubbing a hand through his hair.
Light, but my head hurts. It's spinning like 1,000 bits of dreams, and every one a needle. Do you think Moraine will do something for it if I ask?
I am sure she will, Rand replied slowly. Matt had to be hurting badly if he sought the Aes Sedai's help.
Here we go, yeah.
He looked at the dark spear shaft again. Most of the script was hidden by Matt's hand, but not all. Whatever it was, he had no idea what it said. How had Matt? Ruidian's empty windows stared at him mockingly. We hide many secrets still, they seemed to say. More than you know. Worse than you know. Let's go back now, Matt. I don't care if we have to cross the valley in the night. As you said, it will be cooler. I don't want to stay in here any longer.
That sounds just fine to me,
Matt said, coughing.
as long as we can get another drink of water at that fountain.
Bruh, crazy. It's crazy what's going down. So you telling me Matt then got every single thing he asked for and don't even know it? Like, this dude is so dumb sometimes. Like, Matt, lock in, Matt. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? You gotta lock in sometimes, bro. You can't just be, you can't just be You can't just be. You can't just be. You can't just be. You can't just be. Matt, come on. What are you doing? What are we doing, dog? Like, you gotta lock in, bro. He's like, ah ha ha, I tricked him. I got all these things for nothing. Ha ha ha. Like, bro, they gave you a receipt. They gave you a receipt, man. Thus it is. Thus it our treaty written. Thus is agreement made. Thought is the arrow of time. Memory never fades. What was asked is given and paid. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about this, brother. We talked about this. Like, I want a way to be free of Aes Sedai and the power. So I think that might be what the Fox pendant thing is for. He wanted the whole. Oh, okay. So yeah, like he got a lot more than what he asked for. Then, right? Or because I want a way to be free of Aes Sedai. So maybe that's the pendant. Maybe the sword or the spear is for the power. And then the holes in his memory is something else. I don't know. Didn't he get like another dagger? Like, yo, come on, G, what are we doing? And you're like, nah, bro. They just gave me that as a severance package. Like, Matt, buddy. Even Rand was like, bro, come on. It's like sometimes, Matt, like, bro, Matt, what are we doing? What are we doing, Matt? Matt, what are we doing here? That's all I can say is like, Matt, what are we doing here?
You always get me in trouble. The ripples came faster, sliding together to make thicker lines, quivering still. Can you walk faster? Rand asked. Walk? Blood and ashes, I can run! Slanting the spear across his chest, Matt suited his words with a lurching gallop. Running alongside, Rand brought his sword back, uncertain of what he could do with it against shivering lines of dust, uncertain that there really was need. It was only dust. No, it bloody isn't. It's one of those bubbles. The Dark One's evil drifting along the pattern, seeking out bloody Taviran. I know it is. All around them, dust rippled and shivered ever thicker, bunching and gathering. Suddenly, right in front of them, a shape reared up in the basin of a dry fountain. A solid man shape, dark and featureless, with fingers like sharp claws. Silently, it leaped at them. Rand moved instinctively. The moon rises over water, and the blade of power sliced through that dark figure. In a twinkling, it was only a thick cloud of dust, drifting toward the pavement. Others replaced it, though, black, faceless shapes rushing in from all sides, no two alike, but all with reaching claws. Rand danced the forms among them, blade weaving intricate patterns in the air, leaving floating motes behind. Matt used his spear like a quarterstaff, a spinning blur, but bringing the sword blade into it as if he had always used the weapon. The creatures died, or at least returned to dust, but they were many, and quick. Blood poured down Rand's face, and the old wound in his side burned on the point of splitting open. Red spread across Matt's face, too, and down his chest. Too many, and too quick. You do not do the 10th part of what you are capable of already. That was what Lanfear had told him. He laughed as he danced the forms. Learn from one of the Forsaken. He could do that, if not the way she intended. Yes, he could. He channeled, wove strands of the power, and sent a whirlwind into the middle of each black shape. They exploded in clouds of dust that left him coughing. As far as he could see, dust settled from the air. Hacking and panting, Matt leaned on his dark-shafted spear. Did you do that? He wheezed, wiping blood away from his eyes.
Here, Matt,
About time.
go, bruh.
If you knew how, why didn't you bloody do it in the first place? Rand started to laugh again. Because I didn't think of it. Because I didn't know how until I did it. But it froze in his mouth. Dust drifted out of the air, and as it settled on the ground, it began to ripple. Run, he said. We have to get out of here. Run!
Bro, like, what is going on, bro? It's going down in Ruidian. It go down. It go down. It go down in Ruidian. Nope. It go down, ho. And it's insane, bro. Honestly, insane. What a chapter. What a chapter. Like, What a chapter. We just go like it hits the entire time. Even when we think we're about to start, okay, we're about to start chilling out. No. Matt has been attempted murdered by the genie dudes, and then y'all are getting also attacked by shadow people. Like, congratulations. This is not only did you just go through both of you went through a crazy experience with no time to recuperate off of that thing that happened before you had to immediately get thrown back into a battle. Like, brother, it's going down. It's going down. There's nothing else to say here. It is insane how much, like, things are just happening right now. I love it. I love it. It's actually so dope. Like, this is fantastic, man. Almost fantabulous, some would say, you know? Some may say fantabulous. Hey, all right, my bad, Asim. I just saw this, man. I hope you get some good sleep, get some good rest. Thank you for being here with us, bro. For real, for real. You basically made it through, you know, you made it through the first half. Almost every other chapter is significantly shorter as well, so that helps. Yeah, literally, they were attacked by glorified dust bunnies, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is wild. They were attacked by Ruidian dust mites, you know? Like, that's crazy. You gotta be careful for those Ruidian dust mites, you know what I'm saying, chat? Damn. I need, like, one of them things where you can, like, hang and your whole body just. That's what I need. You feel me? Just. It go down. It go down. Okay. Where we at? I think. Yeah, I believe that is it for that chapter. Yo, chapter 26, chapter 25 and 26, again, like I said, they are bangers. The way they just boom, you know? Like, ha, 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 ha. Like, literally, that's how the entire chapters are, while we're also getting full lore, full understanding of. You know, as we get full lore and full understanding of what's going on here. Oh. It's like, bruh, it's just, it's just so hard, bro. Everything goes so hard from start to finish in those chapters, man. It's kind of insane. Yeah, exactly. 25 and 26 are definitely peak fantasy writing. Like, everything about them, it's just wild, bro. It's wild how hard it goes, yo. And I'm so happy that they actually did tackle this in a really good way for the show. I think the show actually did. I think the show did this justice. You know what I mean? The show did this so much justice. It's awesome. It's awesome. This has me so pumped, bro. Just fantastic. I mean, wow. Oh, they also, for some reason, blatantly give us this crystal ball used by a man and woman, and then he gives a, like, Terrence Terrence Howard Iron Man 1 look out the suit, and he's like, not yet. You know what I mean? Like, if you know, you know. Because that's basically what Rand does. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if those things are important that Rand just obviously pointed out and was like, hey, not yet, babe. I'll be back for those. Like, like, bro, I wonder if that'll be important in the future. uh, so I'm interested in what's gonna happen with that. What's going on there? Um, like, what's going on there? I'm very interested. But yeah, that's the end. That's basically the end of chapter 26, and I loved it. I want to know how you guys felt about chapter 25 and 26 in the comments. I know you already told me that you love it. I know we've spent a lot of time on these chapters, but they're banging chapters. I mean, these chapters were literally bangers. There's no way we couldn't spend a lot of time on them. It's just not possible. Like, come on. Like, come on. Come on in the room. All right. All right. As we continue, as we proceed to give you what you need, I'm not going to say that we're going to speed run these by any means, but as I said, these are significantly shorter chapters. Some important stuff still happens in them as well, so we'll cover all of those things and just keep the ball on rolling. Okay, chat, let's make it happen. Let's get it started, and we're going to do that by getting into
Chapter 27. Within the Ways.
We are in the ways and we are letting shit go down. I love it. I love, again, as we start this, I'm pretty sure we are like basically right back into no, we're not really right back into what I was going to say. One of the first things that I wrote down is the animals rolled their eyes, because I do remember, like, as they approached a very dangerous drop or whatever, like, they looked at each other and they were like, bruh, come on, they got us doing this. And I was like, what's up with these horses, dude? Like, these horses got so much character. Like, bro, we're probably going to get an entire chapter from the horse's point of view before I'm done with this series. Like, I would not be surprised, or at least even a full segment, like a full section of horse POV. Like, I would not be surprised, because these horses, the way that they feel and what's going on, it matters. It matters for sure. It matters for sure. And that's hilarious, yo. Horses roll their eyes when they're scared. Tell me something. What the helly? What? That's diabolical. Learn something new every day. I never knew. Oh, shit. Oh, bro, I forgot to do something today. Damn, and I just remembered that I needed to do something today that I did not do. And I definitely should have did it. That's not good. Oh, shit. Oh, well. We'll do it tomorrow. They rolled their eyes uneasily. I was like, what? What happens here? Oh, yeah. So they pull up, and then basically, because the last time we were with them, Perrin did his damnness to get as far in the front of Fail as he could, so that Fail would be nervous about what he's doing, about him going up in the front, and this works exactly as he wants it to, and she is absolutely furious. So furious, in fact, that she gives him 2-5 to the foes. 2 for 5 to the foe. Wait, what? 2 5s for foe for free. 2 5s to the foe for free. And a knuckle sandwich straight to the solar plex. And then bro is like, what? And then he grabbed her by the neck. I was like, oh my God, this is so aggressive. My boy Perrin was like, hold on, you're not about to, what? I was like, oh shit. And then, like, it was funny because she says, it was like Fail was mad that Loyal stepped in, but she was also mad that the Aiel girls did not step in for her. And then I just love how they were like, well, We just wanted you, we saw you pick the battle. So we thought you was gonna be able to fight it, you know. We want you to be able to fight your own battles. We don't want you to have to rely on us. Like that's not what they said, but that was kind of the energy, you know. And that had me rolling. I was like, "Oh, bro, I know she didn't expect for them to say that." I love it. I love that, bro. And then Gaul basically is like, "Yo, they're like the." He's like, "Women are like the sun." That you know you need them, all of this, but if you sit under that for too long, you'll get buoyant. And I was like, bro, what is he even talking about? But essentially, he was saying you can't live with him and you can't live without him. And I was like, bro, this is hilarious. I was rolling. Gaul had me weak in this whole section. Where was Gaul? Like, I don't think Gaul was a part of this in the story. It was just the girls, Bear, and I can't think of their names actually. I don't know why. Fayo's hands are rated P for parents. So facts, yo. Yeah, facts. Definitely rated P for parent. Because she was not playing with dude at all. Like, not at all. She was literally not playing. And it was crazy.
To speak so she could make some witty remark. She liked wittiness. He preferred saying what he meant. Irritably, he turned stepper, meaning to go on without her or Lyall. The line led to the waygate, and he could pick out the Avendosaura leaf that opened it himself. Suddenly, his ear caught a muffled click of hooves from the darkness, and the fetid smell slammed home in his mind. "Trollocs!" he shouted. Gaul pivoted smoothly to slide a spear into the black-mailed chest of a wolf-snouted Trolloc dashing into the light with scythe-like sword upraised. In the same effortless motion, the Aiel pulled his spear point free and sidestepped to let the huge shape fall. More came behind it, though, all goat snouts and boar's tusks, cruel beaks and twisted horns, with curved swords and spiked axes and hooked spears. The horses danced and screamed. Holding his pole lantern high, the thought of facing these things in the dark gave him cold sweat. Perrin clawed for a weapon, swung at a face distorted by a sharp-toothed snout. He was surprised to realize he had pulled the hammer free of its lashings on his saddlebags, but if it did not have the axe's sharp edge, 10 pounds of steel wielded by a blacksmith's arm still sent the Trolloc staggering back, shrieking and clutching a ruined face. Loyal dashed his pole lantern against a goat-horned head, and the lantern broke. Bathed in burning oil, the Trolloc ran howling into the dark. The Ogier flailed about him with the stout pole, a switch in his huge hands, but one that landed with sharp cracks of splintering bone. One of Fail's knives blossomed in an all-too-human eye above a tusked snout. The Aiel danced the spears, having somehow found time to veil themselves. Perrin struck and struck and struck. A whirlwind of death that lasted a minute, 5, it seemed an hour. But suddenly the Trollocs were down, those not already dead kicking in their death throes. Perrin sucked air into his lungs. His right arm felt as if the weight of the hammer might pull it off. There was a burning sensation on his face, a wetness trickling down his side, another on his leg, where Trolloc steel had gotten through. Each of the Aiel had at least one damp patch darkening their brown and grey clothes, and Loyal wore a bloody gash down his thigh. Perrin's eyes went right past them, seeking Fail. If she was hurt... She sat atop her black mare, a knife in her hand, ready to throw. She had actually managed to pull off her gloves and tuck them neatly behind her belt. He could not see a wound on her. In all the blood smell, human, Ogier, Trolloc, he could not have picked out hers if she were bleeding, but he knew her scent, and she did not have the pained smell of injury.
What is up with Fail, dog? Time I start trusting Fail a microscopic minuscule of a bit, she start being mad. Something's just mad sus about her. And I don't know what it is. It's just like every time we start trusting her, she starts doing something that's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, I'm so confused. Like, why do you not smell of anything? Like, what? I know you're scent, but you not smelling of blood or fear or none of this other stuff, and we all fighting here? Not possible. What's actually happening here? I need questions.
Bright lights hurt Trolloc eyes. They did not adapt quickly. Very likely the only reason they were still alive and the Trollocs dead was that abrupt entry from darkness into light. That was all the time they had, a moment's respite, long enough to glance around, take breath. With a roar, like 100 pounds of bone falling into a huge meat grinder, a fade leaped into the light. Eyeless stare, a stare of death, black sword flickering like lightning. The horses screamed, trying to bolt. Gaul barely managed to turn that blade with his buckler, losing a slice from the side of it as if the layers of cured bullhide were only paper. He stabbed, eluded a thrust, barely, and stabbed again. Arrows sprouted in the Murdral's chest. Bane and Chiad had thrust their spears through the harness holding the cased bows on their backs and were using those curved horn bows. More arrows pin-cushioning the half-man's chest. Gaul's spear darting, stabbing. One of Fail's knives suddenly stood out in that smooth, maggot-white face. The Fade would not fall, would not stop trying to kill. Only the wildest dodging kept its sword from finding flesh. Perrin bared his teeth in an unconscious snarl. He hated Trollocs as an enemy of his blood. But the Neverborn... It was worth dying to kill a Neverborn.
To put my teeth in its throat.
Careless of whether he blocked Blaine and Chiad's arrows, he guided Stepper closer to the Neverborn's back, forcing the reluctant Dun nearer with reins and knees. At the last instant, the creature spun away from Gaul, seemingly ignoring a spear point that thrust between its shoulders and came out below its throat, staring up at Perrin with the eyeless gaze that sent fear into every man's soul. Too late. Perrin's hammer fell, shattering head and eyeless gaze alike. Even down, and virtually headless, the Murdral still thrashed, lashing aimlessly with its Thakandar wrought blade. Stepper danced back, whickering nervously, and suddenly Perrin felt as if he had been doused in icy water. That black steel made wounds even Aes Sedai found hard to heal, and he had ridden in uncaring. My teeth in its light, I have to keep hold of myself. I have to. He could still hear smothered sounds from the darkness at the far end of the island. The clatter of hoofed feet, the scrape of boots, harsh breathing and guttural murmurs. More Trollocs, how many he could not say. A pity they had not been linked to the Murdral. Yet perhaps they might hesitate to attack without it to drive them. Trollocs were usually cowards in their way, preferring strong odds and easy kills. But even lacking a Murdral, they could work themselves up to come again eventually.
Oh my goodness, we are so cooking right now. It is crazy. It's crazy how much we're cooking right now. Like, again, we are like out of the this and into the that, from one character to the next, from one POV to the next. It's turned up all the way. We are not playing. We are fighting Fades in the ways, trying to escape Machinshin. You know what I mean? Like, it's about to go crazy, yo. Are we giving Fail a mustache?
Mustache, baby, underneath the nose.
I think we might have to give Fail a mustache. I can't lie, because Fail just seems so sus, man. She seems so sus with the things she be doing, the things she be saying. It's like, I cannot trust you. I don't know why, but I just can't trust you. Because something is up with you. Because they're always in weird area. Weird shit is always happening around you. And I'm Taviran. So if weird shit is happening around you and I'm Taviran, that means you're weird and I'm attracting you to me. You know what I'm saying? There's a connection, y'all. Like, you hear me though? Like, you hear me? Like, it is because he is Taviran that he is attracting her weird ass, because every time, like I said, every time she do something, I'm like, oh nah, yo, she must have, she's cool, she's fine, and then I turn around,
Mustache, baby, underneath the nose.
and she cannot be trusted just that fast. She can't be trusted. It's like, I trust you, wow, awesome, and then she does something, and it's like, bruh, never mind. It's like, oh yeah, never mind. No, I forgot. This is why I didn't trust you again. Yeah, my bad. I forgot all about that. I forgot that you are crazy all about.
She had not broken her neck, and her horses too. Loyal's tall horse and her pack horses were trembling as though hit between the eyes. Perrin opened his mouth, and she glared at him, daring him to make any comment at all.
LBF,
maybe a
that's
sympathetic
wild.
one least of all. He grimaced wryly and wisely kept
That's
silent.
hella funny, though.
Abruptly, Loyal came hurtling out of the waygate, leaping out of a dull silvery mirror with his own reflection growing behind him, and rolled across the ground.
I was a little nervous when they were trying to make it to the exit because this is where we lost our boy Loyal in the show, which I can never forgive them for. And that broke my heart for surely. I was not prepared for that. I was like, whoa. And I think at the time I was like, bro, this is not what I needed in my life right now. Like, I need Loyal. You know what I mean? Don't take him away from me like that. And then they also tell us that, like, when you fall, you're just falling into the abyss damn near forever. Like, come on, son. Not to the good guy Loyal. Don't do him like that. Like, what the hell? And then we also find out that different leaves do different things. We get another name drop. Well, not another name drop, but we get another reminder that the Ogier grew the ways, which is very, 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 very. Oh, wait, am I too far? No, I'm not. Which is very, very, very interesting. Like, I don't know why they keep telling us that the Ogier grew the ways, but I would like to know why. You know what I mean? I would like to know what's up with that. I would definitely like to know what's going on there.
Almost on his heels, 2 Trollocs appeared, ram's horns and snout, eagle's beak and feathered crest. But before they were more than halfway out, the shimmering surface turned dead black, bubbling and bulging, clinging to them. Voices whispered in Perrin's head, 1,000 babbling mad voices clawing at the inside of his skull. Bitter blood, blood so bitter. Drink the blood and crack the bone. Crack the bone and suck the marrow. Bitter marrow, sweet the screams. Singing screams, sing the screams. Tiny souls, acrid souls, gobble them down. So sweet the pain. On and on. Shrieking, howling, the Trollocs beat at the blackness boiling around them, clawed to pull free as it sucked them deeper, deeper, till only one hairy hand remained, clutching frantically, then only darkness, bulging outward, seeking. Slowly the waygates appeared, sliding together, squeezing the blackness so it oozed back inside between them. The voices in Perrin's head finally stopped. Loyal rushed forward quickly to place not one but 2 3-lobed leaves among the myriad leaves and vines. The waygate became stone again, a section of stone wall carved in intricate detail, standing alone on a sparsely wooded mountainside. Among the myriad leaves and vines was not 1, but 2 Avendosora leaves. Loyal had replaced the trefoil leaf from inside on the outside. The Ogier heaved a deep, relieved sigh.
That is the best I can do. It can only be opened from this side now.
He gave Perrin a look, at once anxious and firm.
I could have locked it forever by not replacing the leaves, but I will not ruin a waygate, Perrin. We grew the ways and tended them. Perhaps they can be cleansed someday. I cannot ruin a waygate.
It will do, Perrin told him. Had the Trollocs been coming to this waygate? Or had it just been a chance encounter? In either case, it would do. Was that... Vail began unsteadily, then stopped to swallow. Even the Aiel looked shaken for once.
Machin Shin, Loyal said. The Black Wind, a creature of the shadow, or a thing grown of the way's own taint. No one knows. I pity the Trollocs. Even them.
Yo, I'm telling you. Yo, I'm telling you, this is crazy. Like, the Machin shit is nothing to play with. It's definitely something completely terrifying. I'm terrified thinking about what the hell that thing be doing. Like, bruh, holy shit. Was I relieved? Yo, I literally exhaled deeply when Loyal came through, because this is the point where my boy died in the show. I was so nervous for him. I was like, holy shit, please don't die, bro. Please. And then when he like dives through, I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, woo, let's go, bro. I was so excited. I think that was one of the things I said in one of my instant reactions is how different the deaths are in the show and the book. And how some of the deaths in the show are just like gut punches. Like, I don't want to say they only did it for shock value by any means, but it's like, damn. Justice for Brother Book. Yo, yeah, facts, man. Facts. Whenever I hear singing screams, I always think of Busking in the Ways by Marcellix on Wa Idol. Yo, that's that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good connection to make. Uh, Let me see. Oh, and then we also find out that the shadow uses ravens and rats to see. I think we knew some of that, but that's another thing that we find out, like, kind of before the chapter comes to an end. Is like, that's going on there. Uh, yeah. And I think that it also goes out to say, like, this was the first time that he had seen that the Aiel were, like, shooken up about the things that were going on around him. And it's like, yeah, bruh, nobody is gangsta enough to fight against Trollocs and not have some type of reaction. You know what I mean? Like, nobody has ice in their veins to that extent. Like, it's just not happening right now. Like, bruh, we almost died. No joke. This is not a joke. We almost died. Diabolical, bro. But yep, that is chapter 27. I really enjoyed chapter 27, like I was saying before. What a good chapter. They did a really good job. Just letting us know what's going on. Catching us up with Trollocs again as well, if you notice, because we haven't seen Trollocs in a long time. Also, I would like to say that we have seen a couple of wolf-snouted Trollocs in the book and so far in this book in different areas and different times. And wolves are missing right now. We're going to find that out in the next chapter, but that's just something that I had to say because it was like, why is that? Like, are the wolves being used to make Trollocs now? Because there's like a wolf brother out there that they're trying to go against. So they're like, yo, we gotta thin the numbers of Yo! Yo! Did I just figure that out? Are the Trollocs that are fighting back the wolves that Perrin is connected to, son? Wait a minute. If that's what's happening, here, that is freaking fire, bro. Like, if that's what's going on, like, that's amazing. Holy shit. Whoa. I don't know if that's what's happening, but I've been trying to figure out why would the Trollocs be helping anybody? Why would the Trollocs be helping people? But now we've also found out that the wolves are missing. So the wolves are missing because they're being turned into Trollocs. So the Trollocs that are fighting back are the Trollocs that are connected to Perrin. Because they're Trollocs because they're wolves. Because the wolves are Perrin's wolves. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but that seems like that seems crazy, bro. That seems insane. I'm not gonna lie. If that's what's happening, that's diabolical. And it's awesome. Because that's awesome if that's the case. Because it makes sense. It makes sense within the realm of the metaphysics and the magic system that is at work right now. Because Perrin obviously can talk to the Wolf Brothers. All the Wolf Brothers are missing. And there's hell of them missing. It's not like, oh, bro, I can't find, oh my goodness, bro, there's a couple of them are no, bro, there's none of them anywhere. I can't find anyone. This dude who is the Slayer is finding them in the dream realm as well. Like, okay, we're gonna have to get into the next chapter so I can really start nerding out. You know what I mean? We're gonna really have to get into the next chapter so I can start nerding out, because I feel like Even if this isn't something that's going on, this is a W theory.
Chapter 28. To the Tower of Genji. With night so near, they had no choice but to camp there on the mountain near the Waygate. In 2 camps. Fail insisted on it.
That is done with,
Loyal told her in a displeased rumble.
we are out of the ways, and I have kept my oath. It is finished.
I love when my guy Loyal be trying to stand on business. It's like, come on, man, you know you can't stand on business, Loyal. But we definitely appreciate you sticking up for my guy, you know? He's definitely a ROD. He is definitely an ROD. Not sure I've ever heard that theory before. Interesting proposition there, Sensei. I love this theory. I mean, it just seems like, I don't know, like doesn't that seem right? Like, I can't recall if the Trollocs that were the ones that were fighting back were wolves or not. Because I feel like we hadn't heard about wolf-snouted Trollocs in a really long time. Like I feel like that was something that they went out of their way to mention multiple times. Like they always said that there's beaks and all these other ones, but it was like, no, there's a wolf snout on this one. Like there's a wolf snout on that one. There's a wolf snout on this one. And I'm like, you know, I know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. It seems like it works, bro. It seems like it works. I don't know. Yeah, right? Okay, bro. So okay. All right. Okay. So there is a possibility that what I'm saying is a possibility, correct? Because it's like there's a connection. There's a connection, bro. I need a tinfoil hat because I am really on this theory right now. I feel like there's more to prove this theory right than wrong at this moment in time because of the information that I have at my disposal. Interesting. I'm going to have to think on this one.
Look around him.
Remember, kick me awake if need be.
Sleep enfolded him while Gaul was still nodding, and the dream came at once. It was daylight, and he stood alone near the Waygate, which looked like an elegantly carved length of wall, incongruous on the mountainside. Except for that, there was no sign any human had ever set foot on that slope. The sky was bright and fine, and a soft breeze up the valley brought him the scent of deer and rabbits, quail and dove, 1,000 distinct smells of water and earth and trees. This was the wolf dream. For a moment, the sense of being a wolf rolled over him. He had pause and... No. He ran his hands over himself, relieved to find only his own body, in his own coat and cloak, and the wide belt that normally held his axe, but with the hammer haft thrust through the loop instead. He frowned at that, and surprisingly, for a moment, the axe flickered there instead, insubstantial and misty. Abruptly, it was the hammer again. Licking his lips, he hoped it stayed that way. The axe might be a better weapon, but he preferred the hammer. He could not remember anything like that happening before, something changing, but he knew little of this strange place, if it could be called a place. It was the wolf dream, and odd things happened there, surely as odd as in any ordinary dream. As though thinking of the oddities triggered one of them, a patch of sky against the mountains darkened suddenly, became a window to somewhere else. Rand stood amid swirling storm winds, laughing wildly, even madly, arms upraised, and on the winds rode small shapes, gold and scarlet, like the strange figure on the dragon banner. Hidden eyes watched Rand, and there was no telling whether he knew it. The odd window winked out, only to be replaced by another farther over, where Nynaeve and Elaine stalked cautiously through a demented landscape of twisted, shadowed buildings, hunting some dangerous beast. Perrin could not have said how he knew it was dangerous, but he did. That vanished, and another black blotch spread across the sky. Matt, standing where a road forked ahead of him. He flipped a coin, started down one branch, and suddenly was wearing a wide-brimmed hat and walking with a staff, bearing a short sword blade. Another window, and Egwene and a woman with long white hair were staring at him in surprise, while behind them the white tower crumbled, stone by stone. Then they were gone too. Perrin drew a deep breath. He had seen the like before, here in the wolf dream, and he thought the sightings were real in some way, or meant something. Whatever they were, the wolves never saw them. Moraine had suggested that the wolf dream was the same as something called Teller and Riode, and then would say no more.
That's what I thought.
He had
as
overheard
well.
Egwene and Elaine speaking of dreams once, but Egwene already knew too much about him and wolves, perhaps as much as Moraine. It was not something he could talk about, not even with her. There was one person he could have talked to. He wished he could find Elias Mashera, the man who had introduced him to the wolves. Elias had to know about these things. When he thought of the man, it seemed for a moment he heard his own name whispered faintly in the wind, but when he listened, there was only the wind. It was a lonely sound. Here there was only himself. "Hopper!" he called, and in his mind, "Hopper!" The wolf was dead, and yet not dead here. The wolf dream was where wolves came when they died, to await being born again. It was more than that, to wolves. They seemed in some way to be aware of the dream even while awake. One was almost as real, maybe as real as the other to them. "Hopper! Hopper!" But Hopper did not come. This was all useless. He was there for a reason, and he might as well get on with it. At best, getting down to where he had seen the ravens rise would take hours. He took a step. The land around him blurred, and his foot came down near a narrow brook beneath stunted hemlock and mountain willow, with cloud-capped peaks towering above. For a moment, he stared in amazement. He was at the far end of the valley from the waygate. In fact, he was at the very spot he had been aiming for, the place where the ravens had come from, and the arrow that killed the first hawk. Such a thing had never happened to him before. Was he learning more of the wolf dream? Hopper had always said he was ignorant. Or was it different this time? He was more cautious with his next step, but it was only a step. There was no evidence of archer or ravens. No track, no feather, no scent. He was not sure what he had expected. There would be no sign, unless they had been in the dream too. But if he could find wolves in the dream,
That was crazy.
they could help him find their brothers and sisters in the waking world. And those wolves could tell him if there were shadow spawn in the mountains. Perhaps if he were higher up, they could hear him call. Fixing his eye on the highest peak bordering the valley, just below the clouds, he stepped. The world blurred, and he was standing on the mountainside, with white billows not
Aaron
5
has
spans
unlocked
overhead.
fast travel.
In spite of himself, he laughed. This was fun. From here he could see the entire valley stretched out below. "Hopper!" No answer. He leaped to the next mountain, calling, and the next, eastward toward the 2 rivers. Hopper did not answer. More troubling, Perrin did not sense any other wolves either. There were always wolves in the wolf dream. Always. From peak to peak he sped in blurred motion, calling, seeking. The mountains lay empty beneath him except for deer and other game. Yet there were occasional signs of men. Ancient signs. Twice, great carved figures took nearly an entire mountainside. And in another place, strange angular letters 2 spans high had been incised across a cliff a shade too smooth and sheer. Weathering had worn away the figures' faces, and eyes less sharp than his might have taken the letters themselves for the work of wind and rain. Mountains and cliffs gave way to the sand hills, great rolling mounds sparsely covered with tough grass and stubborn bushes, once the shore of a great sea before the breaking.
Yo, was that Mount Rushmore in the Hollywood sign? Like, am I tweaking? Because that's definitely the vibes that I got when I was reading it. I was like, did bro just see Mount Rushmore and the Hollywood Hills? Like, what? What is happening right now? Like, what is going on? Because, excuse me? What do you mean? Faces on a mountain and a sign on the side of a mountain. Like, yeah, that's Mount Rushmore and the Hollywood Hills. That's diabolical. Beverly Hills. That's where I wanna be. Living in Beverly Hills. And I guess I never really realized how much Perrin does really keep all of these wolf things that are going on with him to himself. Like, he is not telling any of the Aes Sedai. He's not telling anyone around him really what's going on like that. He's not really practicing the stuff that's going on either. You know, he's just getting thrown into these situations and having to figure out on the fly. Which I guess is also very similar to what's happening to other people as well. But for him, he's just not training at all. I think his difference is he doesn't have like a mentor person. He hasn't really. Well, he did have Elias that did teach him a lot, but that was kind of a while ago at this point. So he definitely needs some help, Adosky. And he's a little bit still in denial too, but we won't really talk about that. We won't really talk about that. Wait, where we at? There we go. Let's grab that.
But they give it up when they get old enough to realize that is a thing long lost in legend. So that is how you are here. I should have known. The tower? It is a doorway, Archer, to the realms of the Aelfin and the Eelfin. She said the names as if he should recognize them. When he looked at her blankly, she said, "Did you ever play the game called Snakes and Foxes?" "All children do. At least they do in the Two Rivers. But they give it up when they get old enough to realize there's no way to win. Except to break the rules," she said. "Courage to strengthen, fire to blind, music to daze, iron to bind." That's a line from the game. I don't understand. What does it have to do with this tower? Those are the ways to win against the snakes and the foxes. The game is a remembrance of old dealings. It does not matter so long as you stay away from the Aelfin and the Eelfin. They are not evil the way the shadow is evil. Yet they are so different from humankind they might as well be. They are not to be trusted, Archer. Stay clear of the Tower of Genji. Avoid the world of dreams, if you can. Dark things walk.
Is that the red door? Is that what they're talking about? The red doorway? And because the creatures in the red doorway, one was like foxes and the other ones were like snakes. Like that's literally what they were. So that's the vibe that I'm getting, is that she's talking about that. And if that is the case, are the Aelfin one of them, one of the kind, and then the Eelfin are the other kind? Because that's interesting. Or maybe I'm making wrong connections there, but that's definitely the vibes that it was giving by saying, "Oh, this one's like a fox. Oh, this one's like a snake." And then the two ones that were in the red doors was one was snakes and the other one was foxes. Like it seems a little, I don't know. Slayer. Oh, and then we found out about Slayer, who I am now thinking is the one that is killing the animals and turning them into Trollocs. I don't even know how you would do something like that. We don't know the whole anatomy or the creation technique behind these Trolloc creatures, but we definitely know it has to be some type of genetic splicing thing going on there. Because, how else would you have these humanoid bear, wolf creatures, you know what I mean, that are able to follow rule? Like it's just so weird. They're so weird. I need to know more about them. So far we have Trollocs, we have Orgir, we have Nim, we have the little creepy things that I think the Shan have, the little dog creatures, and I think so far those are the like fantasy creature things that we have seen and that we know about. I don't know if there's anything past that yet. No, I don't think we've been introduced to anything past that just yet. Oh, and then we also find out about prescripts. We don't really find out a lot about prescripts, but it's like, yo, prescripts, what prescripts? And then, really, that's kind of the gist of it. A good name for him. I seen you, Tavern Archer. I've met you before somewhere, I think. I've broken too many of the prescripts already. What prescripts? Yeah. He's right. I should not be talking to you. You frowned, Hershey. Okay. Yeah, and then Hopper is like, bro, I don't know what the hell you talking about. Wasn't nobody here. There are no wolves there now. Those who were and did not flee are dead. Slayer walks the dream. Like, oh my god. Big Lanfear. That's who I thought she was immediately. I was like, oh, is this chick Lanfear? That's immediately what I was like. I was like, yo, is this homegirl Lanfear pulling up on Perrin and he has no idea about Lanfear? I think I said that in my immediate reaction, but I'm not entirely sure. But that's kind of how we end this chapter is, Perrin leaving Hopper and him trying to figure out who is, Slayer, how is he doing all these stuff. They're at the Waygate still. They're trying to get to the two rivers. Oh, and there's a man called Slayer in the two rivers. And he's like, yo, there could not be a coincidence. And that's kind of where we leave off on chapter 28. We've got names for those beings, which means we've got names for those beings. Wait, for what beings? Yeah. The Eelfin and the Aelfin. Yes. Facts. This is facts. We do know who they are. And then she says snakes, and then she says foxes. So Aelfin is no doubt the. I think it makes more sense if Eelfin is the snakes, because eel, snake. I mean, that might be how it is. Eelfin and Aelfin. Interesting. Very interesting. But yet again, another amazing chapter there. All right. Okay. Um. Alrighty, let's keep it cracking and crawling and rolling, aren't you knowing? Okay. Alright, I'm gonna run a little ad again, and then we will be right back to continue.
Cheese balls, cheese balls, cheese balls.
Where the f*** are my cheese balls? See what I'm saying? I know you're my f***ing cheese balls again.
No, I didn't.
Have you ever thought about how it would feel to be one giant sock in the dryer?
No, sorry, I don't think I have.
One sock being left in the dryer would be a bad thing, forcing its pair to roam lonely without its match. But one giant sock's only match is the foot that will embrace its cozy warmth, fresh out of the dryer, toasty, and never alone.
Shroomy never truly dies, for on the day of my reckoning, I will be reborn as a part of the hive mind collective on Shroom Prime, and all of the weaknesses of your planet will be quickly analyzed, and then the mutation will commence.
Scrunching and folding, folding and scrunching, scrunching and folding, folding and scrunching.
I'm Rupert Luther Mullins, Senior Executive of the Turtle Club. Here to defend and protect all in need.
Express delivery when your delivery is expressed.
I'm standing right here, you itchy. Why the hell you still knocking?
Kid Rock, please help me.
That's your freedom.
A natural selection, 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 a natural selection.
Shroomy Rum Dummy.
All right, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go and check out Make sure you go and check out my new show. It's on YouTube, Natural Selection. Go lock in with it. There's a couple episodes out right now. More episodes will be coming out in the future. I'm hoping to do something like weekly or something like that. Hopefully, but I'm not sure. We'll see. We gon' see. Make sure you go and check it out. Bam. There is the link to the site. Go check it out. I'll be putting out one of the episodes here on the channel. I'm not gonna lie. So go check it out. Yo, the show is crazy. I like it. But I made it, so it doesn't count. You know what I mean? But Remy likes it as well. I hope you guys like it. Check it out. I'll probably be putting some episodes in front of some of the things here. Some stuff, that's the little, I made that ad as well. I just be putting stuff together. I love creating, and I love creating that show. I think there's like 6 episodes out, and I'm going to put them all together as like an 8-minute episode. Made a little intro song and all of that. You know what I mean? I do all the voices. Like I put all of the stuff together. Like I do all of it here in my domain. So go check it out. I do a lot of stuff, as you guys can see. I'm always doing stuff. I'm always creating. I'm always doing different things. Like I said, I'm probably gonna post some episodes here on the Marvel Bros channel, and then link them back to the Unnatural Selection channel to get some more people to kind of go over there, and check out what's going on over there. So, let me know how you're feeling. That ad had me thinking I was on shrooms. Hey, yo, looks amazing. That looks unhinged in the best way. I appreciate y'all, and I hope that you enjoy it. Go ahead and check it out. Go check it out. Like I said, there's some episodes up there already. I'll be putting out some more episodes here on the channel as well over the next course of whatever. But while I'm also making new episodes and then link, you know what I mean? All of that. I'm really trying to have Marvel Bros branch out into all these other channels that we'll be doing. So. Check them out. Check them out. Reminds me of Tigtone. Damn, I missed that show. I have no idea what that is, but that sounds cool. That's so cool. I didn't know you had a show like that. Just subscribed. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, I started making it not too long ago. I took a little break from it because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Because my brain is just always moving, so I'm like, I have to keep creating on like a cycle type of thing. So I go from like I go make music and make like a rock song, then I go and make like a something else, and then I go and make something else, then I kind of just go and do all those things. So we're moving, we're rolling. It's gonna be cool. We're in a good time right now. I got some more stuff coming out soon, so stay locked in to all the new things coming out. So with all that being said, ladies and gents and ladies, let's get into it. We're almost at the final chapter. I think the chapter after this, the actual final chapter, is mad short. But let's get into it. Let's get into
Chapter 29. Homecoming. The journey into the westward that had taken him perhaps half a dozen strides or so in the wolf dream, out of the mountains and across the sandhills, lasted 3 long days on horses. The Aiel had no trouble keeping up afoot, but then the animals themselves could not manage much speed with the land mostly up and down as it was. Perrin's wounds itched fiercely, healing. Fail's ointment seemed to be working. It was a quiet journey by and large, broken more often by the bark of a hunting fox or the echoing cry of a hawk than by anyone speaking. At least they saw no more ravens. More than once he thought Fail was about to bring her mare over close to him, about to say something, but each time she restrained herself. He was glad of it. He wanted to talk to her more than anything, but what if he found himself making up with her? He berated himself for wanting to. She had tricked Loyal, tricked him. She was going to make everything worse. Make it harder. He wished he could kiss her again. He wished she would decide she had had her fill of him and go. Why did she have to be so stubborn? She and the 2 Aiel women kept to themselves, Bane and Chiad striding along on either side of Swallow when one or the other was not ranging ahead. Sometimes the 3 of them murmured softly among themselves, after which they avoided looking at him so pointedly that they might as well have thrown rocks.
I love it. Like I said, We are right back into Riverdale, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But right back into Riverdale we go, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I thought this dude was an orphan and a single child that was adopted by a blacksmith. That is you literally what I thought about Perrin. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I don't know where I got that from, but when parents started talking about like he can't wait to see his mom and his brother and his sister and the dog and his uncle and the goldfish, I was like, I had no idea bro had an entire family. Literally, I had no clue. I thought bro was an orphaned single child or an orphan only child that was adopted by a blacksmith and was raised as a blacksmith. Like I did not know that bro was on an apprenticeship in Eamon's Field. You know what I mean, to get his not his barbership, but you know what I mean, like to get his blacksmith license. I had no idea that was what was going on. I don't know if I missed that from the show too, but I had no idea bro had this whole extensive family. I was taken aback. Like when he was like, "Yo, the if they're looking for the Ibaras, they'll find the Ibara." I was like, "What? There's more of y'all?" I was like, "I thought you was the only one, bruh." I don't know. I was like, bro, and you ain't thought of your family once this whole time? Like, bro, we 4 books in and we ain't heard about your mama, your daddy, your brother, your little brother Petey. Like, what? Who was all these people? Like, that's how I felt. I was like, who? Oh man, I could not believe it. I was a little flabbergasted. Um, and I was like, yo, did the White Cloaks find out who everyone was? You know, like I was like, bro, what's going on? Like, and then I was like, so do we not know if it's Trollocs or White Cloaks that have done whatever is happening? But then we run into Egwene's parents, and we're like, oh, yo, Egwene's parents, awesome. You know, hey, what's up with little Egwene's parents? They're dope. I love them. I honestly really love Egwene's parents, her mom and her dad. I love both of them. They're awesome. The way that they react and everything that they do, I just really appreciate it, yo. Um, but yeah, bro started talking about Aunt Magdy, Uncle Carlin, Aunt Eliza, great aunt. I was like, bro, who are all of these people? There's absolutely no way that I missed out on bro having an entirely extended family that lived on a farm together and like a communion. Like, bro, what? There's no way I missed that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, what? And then they die. That shit is not funny, but that is such a freaking whiplash of like, oh, here's this secret family that parents had and never talked about once. At least from my POV. I might be wrong, Chad. Let me know if I'm tripping, because maybe he has mentioned, you know, Lil Pico or whatever the hell his name was once, and I just wasn't paying attention. But bruh, and then they're all gone. Like, what the hell is going on here? How did this happen? It would have been even more horrible if we knew about Parent's family before. Okay, LBF, so I'm not tripping. We had no idea that he had an entire family, right? I'm just making sure, like, I'm not tripping. We heard Perrin was apprenticing with Master Luhan back at the beginning of Eye of the World, but they never told us about his family. We see a bit more of them in the Raven's prologue. Oh, you're right. You're right. But even with the Ravens prologue, with them being like kids basically, and then we fast forward in time, I thought they died and he was just there with the apprentice. Like, I thought he was the blacksmith's apprentice that literally his whole family was gone because of the Trolloc Wars or whatever the hell happened, and then he lives in this city now he lives in Eamondsfield. You know, like that's legit what I thought was going on. I had no idea that, you know, it wasn't like that at all, and he was just on a freaking fellowship program. What the hell? Like, that's wild. um uh I said all of the guys have just left the hometown on 0. What the hell was I talking about? Sometimes I have no idea what my notes mean. And I have to like try to find out where I was in the reading to figure it out. And I'm like, bro, I'm not doing all that right now. But that's what I said. All of the guys have just left their hometown on zero. Maybe I'm talking about Matt, Perrin, and everyone. They like left the. I don't know what that would even mean though. Left the hometown on zero. And then I wrote after that, Fail pops off immediately. I love it. Oh, because she was like, "Yo, you basically came out here to surrender. Are you tripping balls?" And then I felt really bad because when my in my notes, yo, right? It goes, bruh, I thought this dude was an orphan and a single child that was adopted by a blacksmith. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lives later, OMFG, parent is an orphan and an only child now. Bro, that's I was like, oh shit. Whoa. I was like, yo, that's crazy. What just happened? I was like, I thought Perrin was like legit. That was such a whiplash for me when I was like, oh my god. And then I wrote, was this how it happened in the show? Did his whole family die? Am I tripping? Oh, bro, and then they got me with the reoccurring PTSD thoughts of like, my mother like apple blossoms, you know, and he thinks about apple blossom. Like, oh, bro, don't do that to me. Like, where we're just talking about, like, where he's just talking or whatever, and then he thinks to himself, wow, my mom loves apple blossoms, and then da 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 da, and then like, damn, apple blossoms, like da 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 da, apple blossoms. Like, bro, that shit, I don't like that because it gets me. You know what I mean? I feel like that is such a raw way to do something to really get you to let you know, like, oh, bro, someone is traumatized by something. It's like their mind will just keep snapping back to that thing that happened. You know what I mean? It'll stop them in their tracks. You know what I mean? Like, I really appreciate that. And the next thing that I wrote after that is Patton Fane is a dickhead, so do with that with you will. And then Perrin is just kind of like going, like, after he's told that his entire family is dead, like, after he's told that his entire family is dead, he just moves on and he's just like, whatever, you know, and then Fail is like, all right, that's enough of this shit. You know what I mean? Your whole family is dead. And then she grabs him, and then bro just breaks down crying. And my note there was, thank God bro is crying like a baby, because I was about to spaz out. I was legit about to spaz out if bro did not feel his feelings. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, bro, you gotta feel those feelings, my guy. You gotta have at least half of an emotion. You know? So I really like that. I really, really enjoyed that. And then Fayul weirdly says, "Oh them," when Perrin asks her, when Perrin starts talking to her about um the shit that happened. You know what I mean? Like about, oh, the other hunters of the horn. I couldn't remember. When Perrin starts asking about the other hunters of the horn or whatever, she's like, oh yeah, them, and then just kind of moves on from it. And I thought that was again mad weird. Every single time I start trying to trust her, I'm like, oh wow, Fail was there for my boy Perrin. She let him cry into her bosom as he in his weakest moment. Oh man, she might actually be a good character, and I'm tripping. And then we turn around and she's like, oh, them.
Mustache, baby, underneath the nose.
But I don't trust you now. Like, right when you had my trust, you absolutely threw it away. You know what I mean? Like, you absolutely threw it away. And why did you throw it away for? What have you done this for? Is your reasoning for having done this? What is it? Well, because it just doesn't, I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, why are you like this? why do you? It's like you take it 2 steps forward and 3 steps back with Fail because she do something and it is so sus, or she say something that is so sus, and you're like, no, you know, like what's happening there, Fail? Oh, and then I love that she was like absolute, like Mama Eggy was taken aback by the Ogier and how he was like drinking tea out of a bowl. I thought that was hella funny. And then she says something to him, and then I'm like, "Aw." And then I wrote, Loyal is so bashful because she says something nice to him, and he's like, "Oh, oh snap, yo, did we hit our goal? I think we did. I just saw that. If there was a notification, I definitely didn't see it, yo. What? Oh yeah, we did hit our goal. Let's go. Let me see. What am I trying to do here? Let me yeah. Let's go. I'm so happy. That's awesome. I didn't even see that happen. If there was a alert or something, I definitely missed it because I was locked in. W's in the chat. Was that you again, LBF? Am I tripping? Yeah, that's that. Yep, that was LBF again. I knew it, bro. Hey, shout out to my guy LBF. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for helping us get to that goal, bro. Big shout out to you, my boy. President, that was my OCD wanting to see the progress bar at 100. Hey, I feel that, man. I feel you there. Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, W's in the chat for LBF's OCD. That's a lot of acronyms right there, but follow along. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much, LBF. For real, man. Shout out to you, bro. Big shout out to you again, man. I appreciate that. Hey, you hit the goal, yo. Hey, that's awesome. Hell yes, sir. But yeah, for real, like I said, thank you, LBF. I definitely appreciate it, my guy. I definitely appreciate it, yo. Boom, we have hit our goal. Let's go, man. Let everybody say woo woo. Hey, everybody say woo woo. Yeah, let everybody say woo woo. Hey, let's go. Let's get it now. Let's go. I wish I had some music to dance to. Yeah. I was thinking about doing never mind. I'll tell y'all next time for the next goal that we put out about what my plan is if we actually hit a goal. Cause I want to put little incentives out there. I be seeing people doing crazy shit. I'm not cutting my hair, nothing like that ever. But I might dye it or something. Like, the Marvel Bros. You know how Marvel Bros, when we have that one panel, the panel, and it's like the 2 screens. You know what I'm saying? I think that could be a cool thing if we have those 2 screens. That, like, if that would like have my hair dyed that color down the middle, so the left is red and the right is the blue color for Marvel Bros or something crazy like that. If we do a crazy goal or oh shit,
Cheese balls.
My bad. Hold on.
Cheese balls.
Where the f*** are my cheese balls?
Oh shit, where is it at?
For my son, I know you're in my f***ing.
There we go. My bad. My bad. But yeah, that'd be cool. But big W's in the chat for my guy LBF. Yo, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. I love the cheese ball song. Yo, I want to do an episode all about the cheese ball stuff. You know what I mean? I want to do different stuff and incorporate a whole bunch of stuff into the episodes. Like I was thinking of doing one where like a character is doing like a trailer reaction to something, you know what I mean, or doing just different shit like that. But I definitely want to do like a cheese ball commercial, somehow, some way, you know. I think that would be really funny. Cheese balls, cheese balls. Yo, for real, that's crazy. I haven't cut my hair since before the Iraq War started. Solidarity, my brothers and follicles. Okay, I don't. I've never heard my brothers and follicles before. Just give me a second, okay? I'm not. I feel like this isn't something I should laugh at. It just took me by surprise. You know, I'm not laughing at which I'm not laughing about none of it. It just took me that just took me by surprise. Yeah, I haven't cut my hair in like 5 or 6 years, maybe. I think maybe longer than that actually. No, I think I've been growing my locks for like 5 years, 5 6 years. Yeah, it's been about 5 or 6 years. Um, but yo, yeah, I love Loyal. I'm so happy Loyal is around still. Nah, it's stupid enough to be funny, bro. I wasn't trying to laugh because I was like, bro, this doesn't seem like, you know, like you said, you haven't cut it since the Iraq War. There's no way that this shit should be funny. But then you top it off with my brothers and follicles. So I was like, brothers and follicles is really funny. Um, yeah, that I like that though. I like it. Solidarity, my brothers and follicles. Hashtag no shave November. Crazy. Oh, bro, it's November. I was supposed to be taking part in NaNoWriMo, but NaNoWriMo doesn't happen anymore because, you know, AI done killed it because of all the AI stories and stuff, which I definitely understand. Crazy that they would let AI stories be in there. Didn't one of Brandon Sanderson's students start a new thing? And it's like, it's called something. I don't know. I got to look into that. Damn. I gotta start partaking in all these things and all the stuff for real, for real. But I love how Loyal was drinking tea out of the bowl and all of that, and Mama Eggy is just being awesome. And it had me rolling that she also called one of the men a goose. That was hilarious. Like she called one of the dudes a goose, and I was like, bro, every woman in this story so far has called the man a goose at some point, and I think that's hilarious because I know Nynaeve, Elaine, and Egwene all called one of the three boys like a goose head, like multiple times. They have all did that. You know what I'm saying? And that is hilarious in itself, my guy. I was not prepared for that. So this all was very I was cracking up. I was really cracking up, yo, because it had me weak, man. I was just like I said, I wasn't prepared. I just wasn't prepared, yo. Yo, I just was not prepared. So um oh, and then the next thing that I wrote is Sin is a dickhead and it's hilarious. Fael was ready to kill him, but also, again, it was very suspicious.
Mustache, baby, underneath the nose.
Can somebody please tell me why Fael was ready to pull out the motherfucking blades on Sin? Like, why was she so ready to give him the doodoscopy papa doom wow wow? You know what I mean? She was ready to take him out. I just don't understand that, man. And bro was like, "What's happening here? What are we doing? Like, what are you doing? What's going on?" And it's like, "Yeah, bro, what's happening here? What are you doing? What is going on?" Like, how is this even a thing that's going on and possible here? I was I was just ill prepared, yo. Just ill prepared, uh, in its full entirety. So W though. I really enjoyed it. Like she's yes, like Fail is just so ready, bruh. Fail is ready to give out jersey tattoos at a moment's notice, bro. I'm just not. I was not ready for her to be on such demon time. Like, damn. Okay, how do we do there? Okay. Yep, there's a new version. Do you know what it's called, Akam? If you know what it's called, can you please let me know what the new NaNoWriMo is in the comment section down below, please? And thank you. So I can look into it a little bit. I still got some time to write something. Me and one of the org members had thought up of a wild story. It was kind of like it was kind of horror, but not horror. No, it was horror. It was a horror story, but more of like Scream elemented type of vibe rather than supernatural horror. It was more like the Punisher mixed with Scream type of vibe, and then it was a couple. It was like Bonnie Clyde, Punisher, Scream. Yeah, yeah. And I do want to kind of work on that, but we'll see. We'll see. We will see what's cracking. We will see what's going on. We will see what's happening. All right, that is chapter 29, chat. And now let's get into our final chapter of the night, and that is Weef.
Chapter 30. Beyond the Oak. With Vail holding his head beneath her breasts, Perrin lost track of how long he cried. Images of his family flashed in his thoughts.
I wish we had some of those images before this moment, but we already talked about a lot of that. We're already ahead of that. Happy that, she helped him out, loved him, all that good stuff. Shout out to Fail. But then again, she's ready to throw daggers at a moment's notice. So it's like, damn, what's going on with her? As soon as Sin pulls up and he on that absolute bullshit. Master Alvear was cool. Everybody was cool. I like the way everybody was dealing with Perrin as an adult, because he is an adult, like with the beard and the grown up and all the good stuff. I like that. When Sin and Mama Eggy go back and forth, I really like that. And that's when Fael's like, yo, I need to learn how to, handle this dude the way you handled him. And this is where we find out that the two warders are still alive, bro. And that had me surprised. Because one of the warders straight up dies in the show, apparently for no reason, kind of vibe. I don't know what's going on there. But I love that the warders are like, bruh, there are three Aiel, a dude with yellow eyes, and an Ogier, and you saying that everything is cool and copacetic. Like, this has to be one of the wildest things to see happening in front of me right now. Like, what are you talking about? And again, I love that, bro. I love it. I love this shit, bro. I love it. I love it. This book is so good because it just gives you so many dynamics of characters together and just letting you know what the hell is going on, but also kind of keeping a little bit of a secret. Keeping a little bit of a secret. Keeping a little bit of a secret. So yeah, that's really it. This chapter is kind of short. We don't have really anything. I don't know if there's anything eventful that happens in this one other than Sin thinking that bro Loyal is a Trolloc, and then we find out that the other people are here. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the gist of this chapter. It was one of the shorter. I think it was the shortest chapters of this section, and it also just keeps showing us how dope Mama Eggy is, which I think a lot of us already knew. So yeah. W chapters, yo. I like chapter 30. Chapter 30 was a good end of it. It was just womp, you know what I mean? Not I don't mean womp in like a bad sense, but it's like we were on a good ride, and then here we just kind of coasted off into the sunset. And that is exactly how it should be. I think big shout out to KP yet again, because these sections were put together beautifully, and I absolutely love it, man. I absolutely love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, yo. And I hope you guys love it too, for real. Because these were some really great chapters, man. I love them. I love them. But let me know how you guys are feeling about it in the comment section down below. I want to say Reedsy. Oh, is that the new thingamajigger? I'll look that up. I'll check it out. I need to see. I'll just hit it. I'll just go on TikTok and be like, new NaNoWriMo. New NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo alternative. Maybe that's it. Nov. Novel November. Reedsy Novel Sprint.
But it's web-based. It has not quite as many features, but it's still really solid. But at the end of the month, you can actually submit your chapters into their contest with cash prizes and a chance to work with a literary agent, which is also really cool. And everyone who completes the challenge and writes their 50,000 words in the month of November gets 3 months of access to their premium service, which includes a lot of plotting templates and things like that. And of course, there are plenty of other communities across TikTok and YouTube where writers are kind of hosting their own challenges. I think one of the things people loved the most about NaNoWriMo was that sense of community, in the sense that you and a bunch of other writers are all working toward the same goal. But we can create that community on virtually any platform, so don't you worry, we got this, besties.
Okay,
Once
so
we meet you,
Nov
I
is
track
the
your
new.
word count. There'll also be Pro Writing Aid is hosting a challenge called Novel November. You can write your story in Google Docs, Scrivener, Microsoft
Okay.
Word, or whatever you normally use, and use their free service to track your word count. They'll also be hosting
Okay, Novel November. That's cool. I might have to participate in that. For real. I might have to participate in that, and write a little story. I'm working on some stuff right now. I wouldn't mind having a little incentives to write. That's not a bad thing. Um, I might look into that. I'll see. I need like a typewriter or something. Like, for some reason I just do not. I don't like get in the groove typing on my computer. I just don't. But like, I like to type on a laptop. I love writing on a laptop. Oh my goodness. It's like my go-to way to write. If I'm going to be writing, I love to just pull out a laptop, get on Google Docs, and I just start going. You know what I mean? Especially if I not having to be in my office, like go out in the living room on the patio, smoke a cigar, smoke my pipe or something. Like, I like that. I like that a lot. That's probably what I need to get cracking on for sure. W's in the chat. You guys are amazing. I definitely appreciate each and every one of you. It was a W day today. We went over so much, so many different things. And I feel like we got to talk about everything that we wanted to talk about as well, right? Like, I don't think anything was left on the table necessarily. Got a new theory out there that I'm, got me a new theory, you know what I'm saying, of what was my theory? Oh, that Perrin is the one that's controlling the Trollocs because they are wolves. They're the wolf Trollocs, and that's why Perrin is able to freaking control them, but he doesn't really know that he's doing it, but they're just protecting him and going off of his energy the same way that the wolves would do if it was just him. I mean, that's what we've seen that kind of happen, right, with the wolves around Perrin. They just kind of react off of, not just like, they react off of what he's doing as well, because they're all like hive minded in that shit. So that's very much the vibe that I get, and I think that if it's a rock paper scissors shit going on, whatever's happening with the Trollocs does not trump whatever is going on with the Wolf brothers and the Wolf. You know what I mean? That I think is going to trump a lot of different things, especially because it doesn't seem like that's directly tied to the One Power anyway. So that seems like it's going to be stronger than a lot of the other bonds and than a lot of the other things that are created. Even when I said bond just now, it made me think about how the Warders and the Aes Sedai are connected. And that is kind of the connection that the Wolf brothers and the Wolves have, right? It's kind of that type of bond, but it's even deeper than that, right? So it's very interesting to see how things are going. And I'm very interested to see where this all goes. Even if my theory is 1,000% wrong, I feel like my theory has enough weight to it for me to still be like, that's cool though. Like like, oh man, I got a little something there. So, definitely appreciate you guys. Make sure you check out all of the plethora of YouTube channels and things like that. That's a part of Marvel Bros. Right now, we're going to have even more things coming out, even though I know that sounds crazy, but we really are. So, so yeah, man. We'll get into it next week when we go through chapters. Let me see what's on the docket for next week. I think we do next week, or is next week our bye week? No, actually, I think next week is our bye week. Yeah. So we actually won't have an episode next week because next week is Thanksgiving, and I believe Thanksgiving actually falls on the day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure Thanksgiving falls on Wednesday. What's up, my guy? Thanksgiving's on Thursday? Yeah. So, but next week is the bye week, though. So we will be back on the week of the 3rd of December. We'll be back on the week of the 3rd of December, and we'll be checking it out then. See, I knew you was gonna want to touch some stuff. Nope, leave it alone. But yeah, we'll be back, yo. Because I know the kids will be home from school. Are they home from school all next week? Are you doing the most because you know? Yeah, you know, huh? Okay. Yep. Huh? They do have school next week? They don't have school next week. Okay. Yeah, so. All right, G. All right. Well. Yeah, guys, I definitely appreciate you. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Bakari, say hello. He said, nah, I'm good. I love you too, guy. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and vibing out with us. It's been a good book club hum in. Yeah. And now it's night time for the children. Time to put them all down. And we will see you guys on the next one. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope everyone has a good rest of their night, a rest of their day, wherever you all may be. And we will see you next time. As I always say, stay awesome, stay nerdy, and don't forget to stay marvelous. Sleep well and wake. Oh, yeah, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody, because I don't think we're going to see you. We won't be seeing you next. Okay, my God. Jeez. Because we will not be seeing you next week. Yeah, all right, yo. I'm out. Yo, you're crazy.
At Vayne Esports, gaming has always been about more than just winning. It's about community, connection, and making a difference. This November, we're teaming up with the Extra Life Foundation to support the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, helping kids get the care they need one game at a time.
All month long, Vane members will be gaming, streaming, and creating together, raising money for the Children's Hospital through our event called Gaming Together for Kids. You can join in by watching, donating, or just spreading the word. Every share, every dollar, and every moment helps. We're also launching Vanecraft, our own Minecraft server, where Vane members will be building, streaming, and playing all month long in support of the cause. Because when gamers come together, we can make something truly powerful. We can make a difference. Join us this November for Gaming Together for Kids, watch the streams, support the players, and help us reach our goal: one game, one stream, one life at a time.
If you guys would like to support Marvel Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvelbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the Superfan. Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.
And on today's pop culture news update,
Baby, underneath the nose.